Previously, on Rise of the Runelords. After returning to Whistledown, sample of angry water in tow, the group is met by a lookout who is somewhat less snaky than the others they had met in their travels. Leading them through the dark streets of the town, they finally met with Calric Fizzingfroth. Having already sent the evil ale recipe ahead via parchment bird, the last thing to do was to hand the sample of angry water off to Calric so he could begin work on reversing the dreaded beer's hold on the townsfolk. Goods delivered, the group bid their farewells and headed to the docks. Back aboard the ship and back on their way to Turtleback Ferry, two of our heroes were assailed by dreams in their sleep. First, Grelda learned that Sasha was no mere axe, but rather an ancestral weapon handed down in her clan. The weapon would always choose its next bearer. Next was Tarnin, visited by his fiery patron. He was shown a vision of Whistledown, where it seemed the concocted antidote was indeed working as intended. Next, he was allowed to ask a question, which he could not think of for the life of him, so he was shown instead a second vision of the dragon they had just vanquished, speaking with a robed figure, the Ascended. A master was mentioned, and Tarnin learned that the dragon had been given the recipe by this Ascended in order to lure our heroes into his lair. After both Grelda and Tarnin shared these dreams with their compatriots, it was Geisen's turn to get in on the secret sharing, telling the group about the fire and rage that had engulfed his home village and how it left him badly scarred, hidden only by his magical amulet. The group took this in stride and celebrated the only way they know how, with a rousing round of fisticuffs. Drawn in a crowd, Grelda and Icky squared off while Sinishi provided the battle music using her flute. Today, the adventure continues.
Didn't we end with us stealing alcohol from people and then sort of like passing out on the deck?
I vaguely remember that now that you mention it.
That sounds right.
That does sound right.
It sounds like you guys, that's for dang sure.
It does.
Yeah,
All right.
I think I was there, but that...
In that case, we will go to the next morning. Icky and Grelda wake up with cool late autumn rain splashing against their face, while everybody else is comfy down in their bunks. You do have about 2 more days travel to Turtleback Ferry, if anybody would like to do anything on the rest of the trip.
Trying to go down a murder spree. Oh no, I read that wrong.
Too late! It happened. It's a ghost ship.
He said herder spree. He's looking for goats to herd. He just wants herded.
When you arrive at Turtleback Ferry, all the crew is herded to the back of the bow of the ship, and that's just where they are the entire rest of the time.
Tarnin's pacing back and forth in front of them.
Every time one starts to walk away, he starts nipping at him.
Crossbow was loaded and I know how to use it.
I'm gonna assume my character gets a full rest between here and there and get my health points back from my battle with Iggy.
Yes, you guys would get you get one very not good night of sleep as you wake up from your drunken stupor with bruises to the rain, but you are able to rest as much as needed between the 2 spots.
So we all know what Sinishi's doing.
Practicing. All right. If there's nothing else anybody wants to do between now and then,
With my hand crossbow and
what was that? I'm sorry.
a little bit of journaling, and that's about it really for him.
All right. Then the rest of the 2 days pass without incident, and as you all are waking up on the last day before you exit your cabin, you do hear crew members moving around. You do hear a lot of movement up on the deck, and you hear through your doors. Just somebody kind of taps on your door and just says, "Gonna be there in about an hour," and then they kind of go off.
All right. So. Are we all in a room together, or are we in our own quarters right now?
I believe there were
Yeah.
2 rooms split between the two.
Correct.
If I'm remembering correctly.
You correctly remember.
Is it possible for Geralda to have gotten a bath in the meantime?
I am sure that a washing of some kind could have been had during those 2 days.
Okay, let's assume that I did that and probably used up the last of the hair product that I was gifted by our friends many moons ago.
All right.
What is happening over there, Bill?
I was expecting Sean to start just that voice to show up, and this was his hand motion that I always saw him doing. Oh yes.
Well, he's not around. He's not there. You gotta wait till the next time you see him before I can do that.
Do it anyway. You could narrate in that voice for just a little bit.
I could what?
Narrate. In
No,
that
it's
voice
got to
for
be
just a little
saved.
bit.
It's just like all the other voices. You have to actually meet the characters for me to pull them out. I have to give you reasons to go back to certain places.
Well, now I need more hair products, so there's one reason.
Could we get a brief recap of why the hell we're going to Trailback Ferry again? Is it some fort or something that we're investigating?
Yes, you were given a job by Justice Ironbriar back in Magnamar. He said that he had received a message from Turtleback Ferry saying that they had not heard from the Black Arrows in Fort Rannoch for a couple of weeks, and that was very disconcerting to them. So he wanted somebody to go see why they hadn't heard from him.
Yeah, come on, get with it, Lars. It was only 24th July.
26th July.
Is that when that happened?
No.
Yes. 24th July is when we actually had that episode.
And so even further back, that snake lady in the tower had notes saying that there was her sister was like, "Oh yeah, this is a pretty sweet operation out here, gal."
That was 10 July.
Bill has better notes than I do.
Me too.
Probably not. I just have the dates and the main events that happened.
That's probably better than.
I would say, yeah, that's probably better than what most people have.
Oh, okay.
I don't have any dates.
Yeah, no dates. Just
No
notes.
dates.
Yeah, I don't want to know how far back it was.
It's been a little bit.
Well, how about apricots? You got no dates. You got any apricots? I mean, I gotta have something on the ship, right?
One's fly dead.
Seriously.
Actually, you accepted the job from Justice Ironbriar in August 22nd. That's when you accepted it. That might not have been when you were told about it. But that's when you accepted it.
Battle of the dates, oh dear.
No, that's
We
fine.
found out
Either
about
way,
it.
I don't know. My notes could be wrong too. Either way, that is why you accepted payment. You accepted half from Justice Ironbriar when it happened, when you accepted it, and then you get the other half when you report back as to why there hasn't been anything back from the Black Arrows.
I sit corrected. Your notes are correct. It was 22 August. It was 24 July is when we first heard of Turtleback Ferry from when we killed
Zanisha.
Zanisha. Yeah, Zanisha.
Okay.
That was her the sister's location. Zanisha's sister location. I don't think I have her name. But anyway.
I'm trying to remember if her name was given.
I don't know.
Betty?
Yeah, no, I don't think it was Betty. I mean, I could be wrong.
I would need to check on that, on if that was given or not.
I think
Well,
we
I
have
don't think we
initials
can
from a
continue
letter.
until we know whether we know the sister's name.
Well, I think we have the initials from the letter that we had. That's how we found out her sister's location was on a letter. I believe it was initial.
That sounds more correct.
Oh, meta.
Yes. Alright. Hold on. Now you're making me think. Hold on.
No, forget it. Forget it. It doesn't matter.
Oh, look what you done. That's all right. Gives me time to go get a beer.
You're doing what? Drinking beer?
No.
I only have one bottle.
Oh, wow. What is that?
Up my head.
That's a hell of a beer.
Is that an actual beer?
No, that's a wine.
That's an impressive bottle.
I'm trying to get into Tarnan's mood. He doesn't drink beer very often. It's got to be specially made.
So there
Luckily
was.
for him, he knows a person kind of nearby who's pretty good at making beer.
There was not a name on the letter. It just referred to
Fine.
her as my sister. But there was not a name or a signature or initials or anything at the bottom.
So there's a small chance that it's not actually Betty.
Very small chance.
Can he roll like a fate check to have that NPC be named Betty?
Are we
That's
there
a
yet?
thing, right?
Well, it did say that you'd be there in about an hour.
Yeah, so, like, I pack up my shit, stop playing for the first time in a while to, I'm sure, everyone's relief.
You did mean one in-game hour, not like one in
Not,
real
you
life
guys
hour,
don't actually
right?
have to wait for an hour, yes. Alright.
Just get for sassy. We're going to sit here for 1 hour on this
Okay,
boat.
and go. Start talking. No. Alright, so then as everybody collects their stuff and comes up to the deck, you can see land. It still looks like you've got about 10 or 15 minutes before you get there. But as you step out onto the deck, this is the first time that you can truly feel the passing of autumn and the approach of winter in Varissia. Where you are in Varissia is a very kind of a temperate climate. So think of like England, like its winter is usually crappy weather, rain, and occasional snow. But you're not far enough north currently to get like the heavy snows on a regular basis. So the cold rain is what most of winter comprises of in this part of Varissia. Black-laden clouds roll continuously overhead, rain falling in a constant deluge as the cold wind begins to seep into your bones. The boat moving slowly but steadily across Clay Bottom Lake. You begin to notice something out in the water a few dozen feet from the ship. As you focus, the object comes into a clear view, and you can easily see that it is a wreck of some kind. A ship, or at least it used to be, and now most of it is hidden below the waves. Can everybody give me a perception check? I guess we'll start with Tarnan.
My passive perception is a 14. Can we go with that? Because what I rolled is lower.
What did you roll?
A total of 9.
9? Alright. Aki?
Total of 11.
11. Geisen?
10.
10. Grelda?
I would like to request the same roll that Bill is requesting, because my passive is 13, but I only rolled a 7.
Yeah,
And
my passive is better too.
Sanishi.
Oh my god, my passive is also better. I have a not 9.
Hang on, I'm checking our cards to see if it would behoove us to use one.
There's some shit in the water,
I think this is one of the first times that you guys didn't actually pull like a straight inspiration card, like a reroll a d20 inspiration card.
Yeah. Oh my god.
All right.
Is there anything else in there that would help?
I don't. Not for perception checks. I don't believe so. So a couple of you like lean over the side, kind of trying to get a good look at this wreckage, and because of the rain and the way it's splashing in your faces, you squint, but you have a hard time really focusing. So all anybody is able to tell is that it was a ship, and you can see with what little parts are above the waves, there seem to be like blackened sections, like burn marks, but you can't really make out any more than that. You do notice that the rest of the people, the rest of the crew members, don't seem to really be taking too much notice of it. A couple of them kind of look out. You see a couple of people kind of talking as they go about their business, but nobody seems to be focusing on it, looking at it like you are. Then the rest of the trip goes into shore without an issue. And where is it? All right, this is. There it is. So this is not an exact. Oh, good God!
Yeah,
I thought I went through all of these and fixed this.
No token with
No C for you.
Not tokens, man. No tokens.
No. Let's try that. All right.
That's better.
Yeah, it's better. Now everybody can see all the things.
I can see rain. Aha!
There we go. All right, so this is consider this more of an approximation of Turtleback Ferry.
Yeah.
This picture basically, it doesn't have a wall around it, but other than that, it basically gives you an idea of what Turtleback Ferry is like. I just thought this picture was much nicer. All right, so as you come into the dock of Turtleback Ferry, you see that it is a relatively small town. There seems to be a couple of dozen houses strewn about, as well as some larger buildings that are most likely businesses of one type or another. It is probably the same size or a little bit smaller than Sandpoint was. So you pull up, you dock. The captain kind of puts down the gangplank. People start unloading things. The other passengers that were on the ship begin to walk off. Captain sees you standing on the edge. So this is the end of our trip. It was far more exciting than I expected, but at least you got here safely.
Could you turn the music down?
I was just about to ask that. Yeah, it's a little loud.
I was just thinking about doing it. I was like, no. Come on, give me the screen.
You got to, there
There it is.
do the playlist down. A little more. That should be good.
Yes.
That's much better.
Awesome. Guyson asks, what was with the wreck back there?
Oh, yeah. There was, that was the Paradise. He kind of looks around. You can tell he's making sure there's nobody really close. It was a pleasure barge. It had been here for about a year. It was nice. Drinking, gambling. It was a good distraction for our few days of being here. But the night before we were pulling out to head back to Magnamar this last time, she caught fire in the middle of the night and sank. Some of the boys are a bit depressed because they enjoyed the distraction.
They know what the cause of the fire was?
I suppose it depends on who you ask. The odds are the lantern got knocked over and caught some liquor that was on the ground and sent the place up. If you ask some of the more religious folks around here, they would say that one of the gods finally got tired of the den of sin and cast it down into Clay Bottom Lake.
And which do you believe, Captain?
I think it was an unlucky evening.
Either way. You're in town for how long?
We usually stay for 3 days, but we're a little bit behind schedule. So I think we'll be leaving. I'm trying to think. I would say it's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon right now. So we'll stay the night. We'll probably stay tomorrow as well, and then head back as soon as light breaks on the next day.
On the slim chance that we are able to conclude our business in a day's time, we will probably hope to catch a ride on the way back. Otherwise, you'll be here in another 2 weeks.
It'll be about a month before we come back. It's 10 days back, because it was 4-7. It was a 9-day trip, so 9 days back, 2 days stopping, 9 days back, hair under 3 weeks. That's our usual back and forth.
Tarnan offers his hand. Well, it was good meeting you, Captain, and hope our paths cross again. But maybe next time it'll be a little bit more of a relaxing cruise.
You guys provide enough excitement for one trip. I'm hoping the next one is nowhere near as much.
Fair enough.
Good luck on whatever it is that got you the royal treatment on down here.
Well, thanks for the ride, and thanks for waiting for us back at Whistledown.
Calric is an old friend of mine, so I very much appreciate what you guys did for them there. If you do end up finishing off your whatever by the time we leave, the trip back is on me. Otherwise, I would say the next trip, if we ever meet again, consider it on the house.
Very gracious of you.
Very generous, thank you.
Now, if you'll excuse me and my men, now that everything's unloaded, they would like to get the hell off this thing for a day or so. And he kind of nods, and you see like everybody now, like the as you were talking, the last of the passengers and the last of the crates and barrels got unloaded, and the majority of the crew has kind of filed off and dispersed into the town.
Grelda is probably going to be one of the first people who follows them.
I also go to the docks. Dockside, shoreside.
All right, let me actually see. Now that the mood has been set, let me see if I can actually give you a Turtleback Ferry. So you can actually see the town.
Ooh.
There we go. You'll zoom out a little bit there, sir. Should just be able to scroll wheel.
So I'm just getting my character sheet back open.
So where's the actual ferry Okay.
Well, nobody's asked anybody, so you wouldn't know.
So we didn't like see it somewhere on the way in, or
No, I would say you would have seen, because the ferry actually goes from the western part, and goes across Skull Lake to the west. So you would have seen at least one large tortoise shell with a mast, kind of floating across with a couple of people on it.
Least ominous name for a lake ever.
yeah, it
I'm
sounds
sure
great.
it's gonna be fine.
Skull River and
Mount Doom.
that just means it's a happy place.
Well, I guess Grelda looks around and is looking for the nearest bar because, you know, there's beer there and people who can answer questions. It's like a perfect location for any activity.
We didn't have,
What was that?
we didn't have any direction of like somebody specific to like, here is your contact in Tetraback Ferry.
Nobody ever asked. From the time you guys took the mission on the entire boat ride, nobody ever really asked who you were supposed to talk to when you got here.
We're so good at this.
Grelda, give me. You're just looking to see if you can find a bar, or are you going to ask around about it?
She's not going to start by asking. She's going to start by looking.
Give me
just
a perception
glancing
check. Yep,
to see the lay of the city.
Give me a perception check.
Did so great at that last time. Let's definitely do that again. Oh, that's much better. We got a 20.
A 20. Then
Yeah.
you would actually notice you are in the centermost of the docks with the kind of orange roofed building. Immediately kitty corner to the northeast, you see another orange roof building, and you do notice some decent amount of people walking in now, especially for such a small town. You see like 5 or 6 people come in, 7 or 8 people come out, and everything about the looks on the outside of it tells you from where you are that it is most likely a pub or a tavern of some kind.
Okay, I found some notes. We're looking for Fort Raddick, which is by Turtleback Ferry, to figure out what's going on. I had something called Minnow's Maw in quotation marks and Captain Citrise.
Yep, that's all I got is Minnow's Maw and Captain Citrise.
The boat you were on was Minnow's Maw,
Or Citrise.
and it was Captain Sithreath.
Okay, so
You were that was the boat you were told to look for, and the captain you were told to ask about. That's what Lord Justice Ironbriar told you.
and Fort Raddick.
Okay, so should we hop back on the boat and head back then?
Yeah, I guess we're done.
Job well done, guys.
We found this guy, and we've been traveling with him the entire time, and didn't even know it.
Quest to ferry for.
Is the fort close enough that we could actually see it in the distance or anything? Or
We're looking at from the black arrows.
You can give me a perception check.
We're looking for the black arrows there.
Sure. Garson looks for the fort. A 9.
A 9. You see some mountains in the distance to kind of like the northeast and running along northern. But you don't see anything that would make you think of a fort or anything like that.
So then,
Garson will follow Grelda towards the bar.
Fort Rannick.
Yep.
Thank you.
so Grelda does point to the place that looks like a bar and say, bar! And then
He
begins.
goes, bar! And follows.
It's kind of like when you're in a car and you see a cow, you gotta go cow
Yeah.
every time.
It's required.
Required.
Except now, in this game, we stop and drink from the cows.
You know,
yes.
you do see farmland
make it
around,
weird,
so
don't
whatever
you?
you guys want to do on your session is up to you. But anyway, so Grelda begins. What was that?
Look at the stuff I got out of the back end of a cow.
Yeah, I heard that helps your bone growth and makes you taller. Grelda's not going anywhere near that stuff. So
So as
Grelda
Grelda begins to walk to the bar, and you do actually, outside of it, you see a sign that says "Bottoms Up," and there's a picture of a couple of tankards.
So either a whorehouse or a bar.
Tankards?
No, they are right side.
Why not both?
Why not both? All right, so in I go.
All right. Then.
Tarnin does not follow. He does say, for everyone to hear if they care, he's going to look for a constabulary and ask a few questions and meet you back at the bar in half of an hour.
All right. Icky quickly responds, but in a way that Tarnin would probably know that Icky means this sincerely, but really kind of hopes that he says no. Do you need any help? Kind of like looks back at the bar, keeps like trying to subtly look between Tarnin and the bar, but genuinely offers his help.
And with straight face, actually, yes, I think you should order me a drink while you go to the bar.
like as he says yes, he's like, and then like visibly relaxes. And he's like, I can do that. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right. We will do the inside of the bar first, and then we'll hit Tarnin around town. Let's see if I can get this.
Do you control the zoom for me, and I just look around, or
No, you have to do the zoom out. Oh, actually, you just zoom out. If you just do the scroll wheel, it should just zoom out.
I don't have a mouse attached to this computer right now.
You actually.
Hey, there it is. Got it. Pinchy draggy.
Ooh, pinchy draggy. All right, so as you walk into the bar, you do notice that there are 7 or 8 people in the bar. A couple of tables are filled up, and there's 2 people actually sitting at the bar proper. Running around, you see a tall, young human female. Seems to be a barmaid. And in addition to her, you see 2 small halfling male and female, and with the way that they're talking and laughing and walking behind the bar to get drinks, even in just the brief moment when you walk in, you can kind of tell that they're the ones running the bar.
Is there by any chance a musician?
I will say that yes, there is one person in the northeastern corner sitting on a barrel playing a lute.
So Grelda walks up to the bar.
So as is anybody else following her to the bar, or what are the rest of you doing? Just so I know where everybody is.
Sure. Yeah, I'll follow her.
All right. Yep. So everybody, the 4 of you come up, take seats at the bar. As you approach the bar, you see the Hobbit male. Did you get it?
No, sorry.
We've got a bunch of them. They're an infestation, and it's horrible.
Progress is being made, though. Anyway, halfway.
Is it the beard? It's the beard, huh?
Ping, ping, ping.
So the halfling, you see, like, as you approach the bar, you see him kind of like scurrying on his legs behind, and then you can see his head kind of bop up as he steps up what must be a small stepladder until he is looking over the bar about waist level, puts his hand down. So I haven't seen any of you in here before. Welcome to Bottoms Up. Welcome to Turtleback Ferry. What can I get for you?
I was hoping you could tell me that. We are new in town, and I want to know everything about your beers and ciders.
Well, it'll be a short conversation. We've got light beer, dark beer, no cider, and liquor. That's about what we got there, lass.
Where do you source your light beer and your dark beer from?
Ilsurian to the south.
Would I have heard of them?
Ilsurian?
Yeah.
It is a city to the south.
Okay. Would I have heard of it?
Yeah.
From a brewery perspective, not necessarily just from a geographical perspective.
Probably. I would say so.
Yeah. Okay. Because if they haven't been to any of the nearby competitions, and I don't know with any of their work, I need to know what quality I'm dealing with here.
You would know that there are Ilsurian is a larger town than Sandpoint, so there are a couple of different breweries in and around it. Nothing that would rival what is in Whistledown. They're kind of small, and they usually just stick to the general area when it comes to distribution. So it wouldn't be like a rival per se. More like a regional brewery.
All right, then Grelda will order 1 dark and 1 light.
All right. I take it that's for you. What would the rest of you like?
Icky will have a dark.
And for the small fellow?
Guess I'll take a dark as well.
All right. And for the large lady?
I'll take some water. I was wondering if you could possibly use a beginning flutist to play with your lutist, or if you would mind me speaking with your musician.
You can talk to him all you want if he ever stops playing. As far as if I need a beginning musician, that's an old family friend. He plays here whenever he wants, and I'll be honest, that's about all me and my patrons can deal with.
Okay.
So, and then he kind of goes back, turns around, gets all you your ales, looks around. That'll be 7 silver pieces for the lot.
Oh, 1 additional.
Tarnin as well.
Yeah, 1 for Tarnin.
What would he like?
Are the current beers in front of us? Like maybe we forgot Tarnin initially?
It was a dark. He wanted a porter.
Okay, well, fine, all right.
Dark it is. Hold on a minute. Goes back, gets another one, slides it over to you. That'll be 8 silver then.
Grelda pays for that.
Thank you, lass.
Thank you, Grelda.
Minus 8 silver.
Guessing throws an extra silver on the bar.
His hand just like the flash just darts out. Like he's kind of wiping down the bar with one hand, just kind of darts out and grabs it with the other and just keeps wiping. Well, thank you. That's much appreciated. So, why in the 7 Hells did you all come to Turtleback Ferry this time of year? Usually most of the visitors come when the weather's a bit nicer.
He's like, well, we're here just following up on some leads we have for adventure.
Adventure. I've had a bit too much of that in my life, but whatever floats your ferries.
Well, maybe you could help us along on our adventure. Are you familiar at all with the Black Arrows?
We have some regular customers, or at least we had a lot more regular customers before the damn boat showed up, but lately it's been a lot better. Except for the last ghosts. I haven't seen a Black Arrow in 4 weeks now.
So you said that damn boat, I assume you mean the pleasure barge that was here?
Yeah, they had the pleasure of stealing all my damn business. But, I mean, competition's a good thing, I suppose. It's just, it was taking money out of mine and my wife's pocket, so I wasn't the biggest fan, but it is a shame what happened to it.
Do you know what happened to it?
Everything I heard, it burned out in the middle of the night, sunk beneath the waves. Thankfully, it only took a couple of souls with it, but it's a shame to lose them.
Who?
It was 2 people from out of town, a farmer, and the proprietor.
is sad.
I mean, I hated the competition, but never want to see something like that happen to somebody. It's a shame she didn't make it off.
Quick question, Sean.
Yes.
Just like, was that list comprehensive? Like all of the workers made it off, like all of the staff and everything? Or are they just so inconsequential this person might not mention it?
From what he did say, like, that's all the people that died in it.
Okay.
So if you want to inquire as to what he thinks of as people.
I would love to. Grelda, however, is quite busy, so no.
All right, so you said the last time you saw a black arrow in here was 4 weeks ago?
Yeah, it's been worryingly quiet. Usually one or two would come down every couple of days, take a little breather from all the work they do up there. And then on the weekends they'd get a larger group coming down, but
where's the up there that they come from?
From Fort Rennick. It's to the north, across the river. I'd say 9 miles or so, if you follow the path.
What work are they doing?
They protect us. They keep all of the surrounding woods free from monsters. It's a better way to put it. Ogres, ogrekin, things like that.
Orcs.
What was that?
Orcs.
They help keep us safe. That's kind of why we belong to Magnamar. That was part of the deal.
And they also created the pleasure barge, or what did they have to do with the pleasure barge?
They frequented it.
Oh.
On their time off, came down and they partook. Some of them still would come here because they were good lads, but more than a few of them would head out there and enjoy.
What can you tell us about the owner of this pleasure barge?
I hated.
Did she ever talk about?
She did occasionally. She'd come around town, get supplies. Hated competition, but well. And then he kind of looks around, looks at his wife. I love my wife, but she was a beautiful woman. Lucretia. She would come, talk. She offered to buy us out a couple of times, but this place was my father's.
How's the music that's playing? Like, pretty good?
It's better than average. Definitely not a professional musician. Like, you can tell from what he said that this is a family friend, and he kind of gives him free rein. So it's like a couple of speed changes as you can see them kind of concentrating, a couple of missed notes. It's fine for background music. You would not want to sit right next to it and listen to it yourself.
Probably better than what you've been hearing on the boat.
I will say, it is a step up from a learning flutist.
Yeah. Ornate.
Recorder is different.
It means worse.
So were the Black Arrows known to congregate anywhere else aside from Fort Rannick, particularly before they disappeared, or are they pretty much just patrol the town, surrounding areas, and keep to Fort Rannick, and then bounce between here and the pleasure barge?
They wouldn't really patrol the town at all. They weren't really like our own personal Crown's Guard. We kind of keep the law ourselves. They would more scout the woods and make sure that any ogres or ogrekin that would come too close, they would take care of them for us. And they stayed up at Fort Rannick, went out on patrols, and then when they got their downtime, they'd usually come down here.
Ogre and ogrekin. Is this like leveled up goblins?
if you've ever seen a goblin and an ogre, you would probably not equate them together. We'll say that.
Sneaky continues pondering.
Deep thoughts.
Do you know if there's a stable in town that would rent horses?
There's not. There's a stable in town where people can keep their horses right next to the Turtle's Parlor, but there's nowhere in town that actually rents horses.
Is the group really ready to meet another stable master?
No, emotionally, no.
Like, I think it's too soon, guys. Tammy, we can't hear you. Unless you're just making mouth movements. Okay.
You did just say no, but that was lip reading.
Yes, you're not mute.
Oh, she's gone.
She'll be back.
Scared her off.
What does she say? She said, "I'll be back." All right. Well, in that case, then we will. Oh, never mind.
How about now?
There we go. Now I can hear you.
So, okay. I think actually, so this, I've been using the snowball that you on me, Sean.
Yeah.
I think it's dying because
There we
I've
go.
had lots of audio issues with it.
Oh, I would not be surprised. I did have that before I got my Blue Yeti, so had that for a while.
Yeah. So, yeah, whatever's going on, I don't think it's the laptop, but I don't know. Anyway, I was going to say before we moved on, and potentially to give more time for the team to think of additional questions, music got really dramatic just then. This whole time, Drella has been listening, but also, like, doing her thing with these two beers, right? So, what does the light one smell like? What does the dark one smell like? And then she'll taste each one, like, what are the notes?
All right. So the light one is actually more of a citrusy beer. It's very, very like summery. So it's light, citrus, refreshing. You can tell, you especially can tell that this is probably the end of their like summer beer stock. Because you can just tell from the taste that it has been sitting for like a little bit. It's not. I mean, it's still good, but it's definitely not something they just got in. So you can tell that this is the end of that particular summer, and they'll most likely switch to something else. For the darker beer, it has a hint of vanilla to it. So it is definitely a vanilla porter, and this one you can tell that they just recently opened, so you can tell that this is more of their winter stock that they're bringing in.
Okay, so she's basically going to chug the citrus one as fast as she can. And when she puts the mug back down, she says to the group, "Don't order that one." And then she'll just savor the other one. But she will also turn to the... do y'all have any more questions you want to ask? Because this was sort of a meanwhile, and I want to do something after the serious questions are done.
No. Start tuning into the ludist.
She will ask the barkeep if he's heard of... What was the name of the dragon beer?
Red Claw.
Red Claw Ale.
Should I have? I can't say I've ever heard of that.
Hopefully you never do, but you should be warned. And she does give an abbreviated version of the story, which still ends in "and then we killed the fucking dragon."
And he puts down his rag, picks up his mug. I'm gonna believe you, lads. I'll say. Why not? Fuck the dragon.
Fuck the dragon. Fuck boy. So, like, basically all of that was intended as a warning. Like, if you hear anything in the area, maybe tell other people. Like, don't let it spread. Don't let it happen to another town, kind of thing.
I'll keep my eyes out. Thank you. All right. Oh no, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, the bar might be awkward for us to stay there. Is there an empty table we can sort of mosey to?
Yes, actually, both tables near the fireplace are empty.
I tried to.
On the north side of the bar.
We're looking for. So, where's the bar then?
On the east.
Okay.
I can't ping, but
I know. Is it the 2 square ones that you're talking about that are free?
yes,
Rectangles?
That
Okay,
one.
then yeah.
that one and that one.
Oh, that's a table. Okay, I thought that was like a window, like light coming in from window. Okay.
Nope, those are tables.
Then we'll choose that one that you're highlighting there, with the headed green circle.
Okay.
It's better defensible position in case a fight breaks out.
All right. All right. Then
Never
as
know
you
when an ogre
head,
might walk in.
what was that? I'm sorry.
Never know when an ogre might walk in.
You never know when I might start a fight, and I want my people safe. I don't know. All right. That's all.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Then with that, we will meanwhile. All right. So as the group enters the bar, darn it.
I look about, and do I see anyone who looks like a constable or other law official?
Give me a perception check.
I perceive poorly. 13.
13. You spend a few minutes just kind of scanning everybody that's walking by up and down the different streets and alleys, and you don't see anybody that even vaguely resembles the Crown's Guard that you've met in the past, or anything that you would say seems like a law official.
Which I've had quite a bit of practice and ability to pick out, yes.
No, but not today.
But not today. Not today.
Not today, Junior.
In that case, the nearest person who looks like they have an IQ above 5.
All right. You actually see a young boy walking by with 2 books, like under his arm.
Red, come here.
He just stops, kind of looks around, kind of
Yes.
walks
Yes,
like slowly towards you.
Is it Paddock or whatever that kid that?
It is
He's
not
not
Paddock. It is not Paddock. It is actually a short boy. He's got a mop of like dirty brown hair that's in waves down to his chin. It's just parted enough so you can kind of see his eyes, but otherwise it looks it's falling everywhere. He's got relatively nice clothes, especially for the town, and then he's got 2 very thick books as he walks up. Aye, sir?
I grabbed your attention because you look like a fairly learned individual. Could you point me in directions? I need to find the constable or some other law official. Where would I look?
Well, sir, the closest thing we've got to any law would be Black Arrows. Otherwise, you can talk to the mayor, but we don't really have any constables.
Very good. Where would I find the mayor?
And then he points to to the southwest, a very large building. He's over in the church, sir.
In the church.
Yeah, he's our mayor. He is also in charge of the church.
Very well. And is it usual for him to receive guests there?
Well, I walk in whenever I want.
Fair
I
enough.
suppose you can too.
Fair enough. Where are you off to now?
Going home. Just borrowed these books. Going to read
Oh,
them.
library town?
Oh, not a library so much, but the woman, and then he kind of points to the building that's just across the street to the north of the bar. I go in there all the time, and we swap books. She loves to read. She loves to read as much as I do.
Oh, it's good for you, Ed. You flip some accomplishments. Keep it up. Education is very important.
That's what my mom says.
True enough. Smart woman, your mom.
She says reading is fundamental.
It's certainly fun.
Very good.
All right. Enjoy. And then he kind of turns and starts walking to the north.
Tarnan is already stalking off towards the church, I guess.
All right. You get there in a couple of minutes. It is easily the largest building in town. It is 2 stories, and it has 2 very large kind of oaken doors on the front that are at the top of a series of 3 steps, and then a decent-sized porch, a couple of columns, and then both doors are open, and you can kind of see inside. It is a long rectangular room straight in that you can see, and then you can also see that there's a couple of wings, or a wing that goes out to the north that kind of continues in that way. You can see at the end, exactly opposite of the door, is a large statue of a woman with butterfly wings, and there are a bunch of pews leading up to it, and there are just a couple of people kind of meandering in, a couple sitting on the pews. Seems to be a fairly relaxed atmosphere inside of it, from what you can tell.
A what with butterfly wings? You cut out just briefly.
It's a large statue of a woman, long hair, a flowing gown with butterfly wings.
From a just non-character standpoint, obviously I'm not there. Butterfly wings and a god thing seems to be really common in this area. I don't know if that's just because it's the area, or if that's a hint or a clue, perhaps. Because the very first festival that we were at when all hell broke loose was also some butterfly goddess thing.
That is factually correct.
The large oaken doors don't happen to have like leaved like a tree of generals on them or anything?
They've got just a series of names with dates on them. It's weird. No. Okay, so you, Tarnan, you were at the base of the stairs.
Walk right in.
All right. Like I said, you see just a smattering of people. There's 2s, 3s, just kind of off. Some are sitting on the pews in quiet contemplation. There's a couple that are standing in a group talking. You do see one group of 2 people that seems to be in a quiet conversation with an elderly man, completely bald head. He has glasses that are sitting on the end of his nose, a long light gray robe. And he seems to be talking with them, and he kind of puts his hand on both of their shoulders and kind of nods his head, and they turn around and walk off.
If no one else approaches him immediately, Tarnan does.
He, as you kind of walk up, he turns, and he ends up walking to meet you. You are a good foot taller than him. He seems to be definitely an older man, kind of frail looking. He almost looks like he is drowning in his robes. And he just looks at you. Yes, welcome, my child. What can I do for you?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, I suppose.
My name is Tarnan Kipsgood. I have been requested by Justice Ironbriar, to come down and do some investigation. Is it north? I don't remember, Sean. North of here?
North, yeah.
Tarnan, you wouldn't know that. The only reason everybody else knows where it is because you asked inside the bar.
I was talking to Ironbriar, and he was giving me the instructions once upon a time. I should at least have an idea where the hell it was. He'd tell me to go to Turtleback Ferry, and then he would have told me what the hell to do from there.
I honestly don't remember. We'll just say he did. I don't remember whether you had that conversation or not, but it is to the north.
I think Ironbriar was at a loss on some of the details too. Like, we were sort of a secret that we were even sent, right? Like, you had to bargain to get papers that proved that we were officially being sent.
No, I had to ask him for those papers.
Yeah. I don't remember whether that part of the conversation ever, I don't recall. So we'll just say yes, it's to the north.
Fair enough. To the north, at the fort.
Oh, so you're the ones that Ironbriar decided to send. I'm glad my letter finally got some response. I was starting to get a little nervous. It's been a couple of weeks.
I got the finish. All right. It has been a couple of weeks. We were delayed a bit. But we're here now, and
Yes.
we would like to proceed with our due haste if possible. Do you have horses or other means of conveyance to the fort immediately?
I might, maybe, I might be able to scrounge up 3 or 4 horses, possibly, maybe. I will have to see about that, yes. Most travel to and from the fort is done on foot. We do a lot of walking here, yes.
How far is it to the fort then?
It's about, 1, then you cross the river, and then 3 short, about 9 miles, yes. You want to go 3 miles north, and then you cross the river, and then you continue north, and there will be a sign about 3 miles before you reach the falls that says to the northwest is Fort Rannoch, and you'll want to follow that. And it's good you're here. We haven't. It's been a month, and well, most of the people in town are nervous, and I am also nervous. And I hope you can tell us that everything is fine.
Settle down just a little bit for me. We were giving very little detail on what the issue is. From your perspective, what is going on?
Well,
and how can we be of service?
Well, usually the Black Arrows come down from Fort Rannoch fairly frequently, every day or so, and it's normal to see them in town. And they go on their little adventures into the woods, and they kill all the bad things that might come down, and they keep us safe. It's a nice little arrangement, and then, Magnamar owns us, and we get their protection, and everybody is happy. Praise Desna. However, it's been about a month now, and we haven't seen hide nor hair of them, and I'm worried, the townsfolk are worried, and about a week ago, I actually sent 3 people up to go check on them because I was worried and the town was worried, but they haven't come back yet either, and they should have, and yes, you need to figure out, if Ironbriar sent you, you need to figure out why they're not coming, and make them come. So that everybody can take a deep breath, myself included.
You should ask them if people are at all anxious or nervous, or if they're feeling pretty good about it.
Who did you send?
Well, there was two farmers and then their son. Well, one of their sons, the other one's nephew. And they went north. They volunteered. It was very kind of them. And they haven't come back. And their wives are worried, and their sisters are worried, and everybody in town is not happy that they haven't come back yet.
Well, we will do our best to unravel this situation for you.
That would be...
Has anyone come to you... Pardon me for interrupting. Has anyone come to you with any ideas or thoughts on what may have been transpiring? No, you've seen no Black Arrows come back. None of...
No. Well, people talk. People say that they have decided that they don't want to help us anymore. Some people think that the ogres killed them all. Some people think that after burning the ship, Desna has put her fiery wrath on them for partaking in all the evil delights that happened out in the ship. People do talk, but unfortunately, as of right now, I suppose they're all equally plausible.
You're a man of Desna. What do you believe?
I believe that either there is something going on that they have to stay there for, reconstruction, perhaps one of their buildings caught fire and they had to stay there to fix it, or they are no longer able to hold off whatever is out there. The first, however bad, is better than the second.
Very good. Thank you for your insight, Mayor. I will gather my team, and I would appreciate the horses. I understand it's a short distance, but perhaps a wagon if that's easier.
I can try. I can ask Delis. I can ask Sith. I can probably, if you come back, yes. If you come back in the morning, I can have a wagon and 2 horses to pull the wagon. And
what time is it right now?
It's about 4 to 5-ish in the evening. Late afternoon, early evening.
And it's only 9 miles?
Yes.
But it gets dark around 7-ish. I would take it.
At this time of year, between 6 and 7, closer to 6, because it is hitting towards like late fall. So 6:30 is when the sun is going to start to set. So in the next 2 hours ish.
Tarnan puts a hand gently on his shoulder and says, "You wish us to wait overnight instead of seeing it through now?"
Well, the only I don't wish you to wait. You're more than welcome to go now if you want a wagon to take with you. That will have to wait until Silas gets back from the fields, because Silas has the only wagon that I can really spare for you. So I need to talk to him, but he is currently in the fields, and he will probably be in the fields until it starts to get dark, and then he'll come back with 4 of his horses, but I know I can't take the 2. But the one and the 2 I can probably get, and I can probably have him clear out the wagon and bring that over here. So I actually really don't need you to wait. If you want to head off now, by all means head off. I could probably give you some torches and some oil and possibly even a tent if that is what you would like. But if you would like a actual wagon, yes, you'll have to wait for him and then to talk to me and then for me to get it from him and then to bring it out here. So the morning, yes, if you would like a wagon. Otherwise, you feel free to walk now.
Okay, he like triggers my anxiety.
I love watching Bill's face trying so hard not to make an expression while all that's happening. This was beautiful.
Thank you so much for recognizing that. Okay. If we choose to stay the evening, is there lodging available?
Well, if I guess that depends on if you are looking for free lodging or paid lodging. If you want free lodging, I am quite sure that if you wait a couple of hours, I can.
Sir.
Yes.
I'll work out the details.
Okay. If in that case, you can go across the street. Or he kind of like. Sorry, not across the street. If you go across the town center, you will see the bottoms up bar on your right, and then right across the street there is a inn, the Turtle's Parlor. That they have rooms to stay upstairs. If you want to pay for a room, that's probably the place you want to go. If you want a free room, I can probably get you a hay mount, or possibly 2. Most likely blankets. Don't think you're animals, but I can get you a hay mound, some blankets, and they'll probably be able to move the animals out of that part of the barn for you if you would like to stay there.
No tents.
Thank you. We will most likely leave immediately in the morning from the inn. If there's a wagon there for us, fantastic. If not, that's fine. It's still our job and our intention to go find out what's going on for you.
All right. I will talk to Sithrith when he gets home. Probably be back in about 2.5 hours when it gets dark. I'll go talk. He will help me unload, and I will get the 2 horses, the older of the 2. I'm sorry, you won't be able to get the younger 2. Those will have other jobs.
The time you have until the morning, and if you get it there and we can use it, fantastic. If not, don't worry about it.
All right. Morning. In that case, since you're staying at the Turtle's Parlor, the wagon will be waiting outside the Turtle's Parlor for you. There might be a young boy or 2 or 3 kind of waiting around the wagon to make sure that nobody messes with it. And if they are, just tell them to go away. They come here and they'll help me with my morning routine and rituals, and they help me get everything ready. But the wagon should be in good shape and ready for you to go in the morning when you're ready to leave. Probably sunup or so. So it'll be waiting for you.
Very good. Thank you for your help.
All right, of course. Do you need anything else? Like I said, I can definitely torches. I can do torch oil. I could probably scrounge together a tent. I can't guarantee that it doesn't have holes, but if you would like, I could try and patch that up for you this evening.
I think we'll manage.
All right. If you change your mind, just send somebody over. I'm usually here at all hours. I walk around. I like to clean in the middle of the night. It can get kind of dirty when people are around, and I want to make sure it's clean when people come in to give their blessings to whatever deity they prefer in the morning. So if you need anything else, just go ahead and come over, and I'll be here. The doors are closed, but they will be unlocked if you happen to need anything.
Very good.
All right. Thank you. May Desna bless your journey, and hurry back with good news, hopefully. Good news. Yes, good news. And then he kind of turns around and starts walking back, goes, good news. Yes. And then you hear him walk away.
Tarnan walks out and does his absolute best
That was amazing, Sean.
Thank you.
I hope we never speak to him again.
Observers
Relda will
might
try and speak to him as
Sorry.
often as possible.
observers might note as Tarn walks away, him go,
I never picked a better time to go to the bathroom.
Well,
I
it's being
literally-
recorded, so you can watch it again later.
Up until that last comment about cleaning in the middle of the night, I was going to ask you if we solve this problem and come back and he and the townsfolk are relaxed, will he just like relax? Or is he gonna stay like at a 12 out of 10?
Only one way to find out.
Kill him.
That would not be a way to find out. That would be a way to
Torture
never
him
find out.
until he relaxes.
Yes.
Relaxes.
That would be the way to never find out.
He's so
walks
relaxed
to
he's
the
not
bar.
moving. What was that? I'm sorry?
Tarn walks to the bar.
Okay. Alright. We're gonna change scenes again.
Don't do it. Just leave it. It's fine.
Oh
You know
god.
what the bar looks like.
Alright, I'll change the music then.
Oh, there it went.
Wait.
Oh, no.
Yours?
There we go.
Oh, I can still hear you.
Hey.
Alright, so as Tarnin enters the tavern on the northern wall by the kind of roaring fireplace, you see the four of them sitting.
Yep, and we fuck away.
I can't speak for everyone, but I personally would rather have the cool bar scene than have Nate able to hear.
Yeah, no, like, we had the scenes changed before and it didn't fuck it.
Well, you know what? I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna do it, Nate.
Do it.
I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna do it.
Scenes are cool.
I'm gonna do
and F5 and is easy to hit.
Yeah, worst case scenario.
Can you
Nate
hear
and I
us?
don't podcast.
Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yay!
Cool.
So
Cool.
Tarn walks up. He half-heartedly lifts his hand in a fuck away. Doesn't really say anything. He's like, fuck up. Is there a beer on the table that is still full? Sticky. Or
Yes.
is it like half full because you were checking it?
Nope. There's a full beer that Icky slides over to Tarnin.
Tarnin grabs it and doesn't even ask questions about it, which is somewhat rare for him. He starts drinking and drinking and drinking and finishes it, sets it down. If that was not a test of the light growing within me, I don't know what is. I nearly murdered the man.
So Grelda still has half her beer because she was going to savor the second one, but seeing that, she hands it to him.
Thank you so much.
Did you find the leader?
I met the mayor. A very competent man. And very high-strung. Enough such that I thought I was high-strung. Never mind. Disregard. The fort is about 9 miles north, and I give the directions. 3 miles, then a river, then a sign, 3 miles more, and there we are. Blah, blah, blah. Horses are scarce. A wagon is available in the morning. We can go across the street to the Turtle's Den, was it?
Parlor.
Turtle's Parlor, and have rooms there at our expense, or we can leave now. We've got about 2 hours worth of light. We can get across the river, set camp, and be there first thing at first light. The brief story that the town is getting is they've had no contact with any of the Black Heroes for over a month. They sent 2 farmers and 1 with their son, and they have not come back in a week.
In a week?
In a week. Being only 9 miles off, that doesn't bode well for anyone involved.
How about we go now?
I'm
Yeah,
glad you did.
we're off a boat. Let's stretch our legs out.
Works
Very
for me.
good.
Sure.
Oh, Grelda begins to tell you what she half heard while she was barely paying attention to the beers, because she wants you to think that she's competent, but she wasn't super paying attention to what the barman said. So if anyone would like to jump in and correct her at any time, that would be great. Otherwise, you're
That's
not going to
exactly
come
what
out
I
of
was
this any
doing.
more educated than you are now.
I was visualizing Grilda telling a story, and then you get 2 sentences in, and Icky would make 1 slight correction, and then you're like, yeah, that's what I said. And then blah, 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 blah. And then Geist would make 1 slight correction, and you're like, yeah, what he said. And
Well, and it's in addition to that, each time before someone corrects me, I talk about this, that, and the other, and then I noticed that the light beer had like a citrusy scent to it. So I was really curious as to what kind of citrus. Like, was it more a lemony citrus? And that's where maybe someone would try and like stop me and like. Yeah, exactly. So, does anyone more competent and attention-paying than Grelda attempt to assist this storytelling, or is this all that Tarnan's gonna get?
I mean, you're not exactly with the storytelling people of the group. Wait, shit, I'm a bard now.
Yeah, you are. And also, I just want to point out, Lars's character likes books and stuff, so like, there's some brains happening in there.
Geisen would chime in with like the relevant facts if you got stuff wrong or missed.
I would definitely do that.
Yeah, I can't see Tsunushi trying to guide it at all, but she'd make sure things are correct.
She'd just like blow really hard on her flute if you like make a mistake.
Yeah, make a mistake and I just start squawking at you.
Sounds strangely like the
Mating call of Aarakocra.
Oh no!
Like it's from like The Price is Right. Is that bum 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 bum?
Perfect. All right. While you guys are taking turns recounting what happened, Tarnan, can you make a wisdom saving throw for me?
I didn't drink it that fast. Come on. Ooh. Oh, wait. Saving throw.
Saving throw.
A 21.
Okay. Thank you. Continue.
I didn't die. Go team.
Do you also recount your stuff to us? In what flavor of detail?
The instruction, the directions, and the talk about the mayor wasn't enough?
I didn't know if you were going to do anything additional, or if you were basically over all of it and never want to revisit those memories again.
No, I'm dumping them. I mean, there's this like spark of light. I'm still dark inside, and there's a spark of light, and I'm really trying to keep it from going out. And he like squashed it. The shadows were just squished. No, can we just? I mean, come like fuck in the woods.
So if it seems like everybody's recounted their respective things, and we'd be like, all right, well, do we want to grab one more round for the road, or shall we?
Grelda immediately puts a hand up, and she's like, it's not worth it. It was okay. Like, this is embarrassing that this is the beer they served us. The dark was all right. The light was awful. If they gave us a discount on the light, you could get a light. You should go ask for a discount on the light. So you know it's the last stuff in the barrel. You can meet us outside.
The water's okay.
I'll go give it a shot. Let me see. So I go up to the bartender. Up to the bar.
Okay. The male halfling is still like up on his step stool at the bar. He's kind of wiping it down. He looks, and as you come up, he goes, "Well, welcome. What can I get for you?"
Well met, sir. My name is Tarnan Kipsgood, and my team informs me that the dark beer is fairly good here. However, we're in a bit of a hurry. You see, we're trying to go up north and suss out what's going on with this Black Arrows issue.
Yes, your friends were speaking about it a little earlier.
I don't suppose we could get a for-the-road discount. I'm attempting to persuade him.
Give me a persuasion check.
Thank you. 16 and persuasion is 8, so 24.
24? All right. He kind of looks at you, leans over, and he has to lean quite a bit. His hands on the bar to make sure he doesn't fall. Like looks at the rest of the party, like past you. What the hell? Yes. You just want one?
One each, so a total of 5 for the Sandpoint 5.
All right. I suppose we'll go with. All right. Two silver for the 5 then.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
What
What light, dark, mix?
Darks all the way around, please.
Darks? All right. Are you gonna be returning the? You gonna be returning my cups?
First, yes.
All right. I'll hold you to that. And then he turns and he fills up the 5. And give me a perception check as well.
Perception 15.
All right. Then, as he turns around and he's putting him down, he's wearing a long sleeve tunic, and he puts down the 2, turns around, and as he reaches, the tunic actually pulls up a little bit, and on his wrist, you see part of a tattoo, and you see a couple of points of a star on his tattoo as he brings the other 2 up. All right. I'm gonna have to ask for 1 silver as to hold for the cups. They're very nice cups, and I want to make sure I get them back. If you give me the cups, I give you the silver. But if you're gonna take them for the road, I would have to ask for that.
We'll drink it in the bar then.
I'll still give you the. You're gonna find out what happened to the black arrows, hopefully. So I'll still give you the discount. Just go ahead and bring the cups back when you're done, or just leave them on the table. I'll have Susanna grab them.
Ah, even better. Thank you.
All right. If you need anything else before you head out, give a holler. One of us will scurry on over.
Thank you.
All right.
3 beers in one hand, 2 beers in the other.
All right. Just he goes back to wiping the bar down.
So I bring the beers back over. Not quite on the house. I had to pay a 2 silver deposit. Hands one out each, and at least I got the dark. I think if I would have asked for the dregs of the lights, we would have got it for free, but it didn't sound like anyone was really interested in that.
Geralda looks at the dark and goes, I'm not super interested in this one, and she gives it to Icky, because if you're going to offload beer, you give it to Icky.
Yeah. Icky graciously accepts. And, goes to...
Tarnan drinks half of his and hands the other half back to Geralda. Well, here. You gave me half of yours. Here's half of mine.
Geralda is a polite and also just does like beer, so she takes it. Fuck away. Would anyone like to fuck away with Geralda?
Fuck away.
Fuck away. And then it's a dark beer, so she doesn't down it, but we're trying to get out because we're on a timer here, so she does go fairly fast. You look like you're thumping Lars, by the way.
It did.
Oh, I was going for the fly landed on my cup. I was trying to flick it.
Mm-hmm.
I failed.
Right.
Nobody else has to make a wisdom saving throw? Are you going to mention the star tattoo? We're good? All right. Okay.
What was it tattoo of again?
You saw a couple points of a star. You only saw about half the tattoo, though.
If I saw half a tattoo and it had 3 or 4 points?
You would have seen...
We've definitely seen the 7-pointed star a lot. I think you'd recognize half of that.
You would have seen, you would see 3 and part of another. 3 very clearly, like the whole point, and then you would have seen the beginning of what you would assume would be another point. That's probably...
So it looked like a 7-pointed star.
It definitely had more than 4 points. Because you only saw half of it and you saw the points coming out of it. So you would infer, but you don't know for sure because you did only see half.
After the drinking and fucking is done, Tarnan mentions that. By the way, did anyone else see the tattoo or server head? Or barkeep head?
No.
Looked very much like something Sanishi wears around her neck.
War. I took it off.
War.
She does.
So,
Sanishi learned her lesson there.
I was
After you guys got stopped going into Magnamar, she took it off.
Do you still have it, Sanishi?
Yes, it's in my pouch. So, I mean, I still have this, crappy amulet. Should we try to get in with him? Show, maybe flash it? Like, what?
I don't know if it would work.
Grelda seriously just like goes in and goes, "You think we can go undercover?"
We've got the symbol.
No, we cannot.
Thank you, Jordan. Thank you. Yeah. I also do not think we are equipped to go undercover.
What could go wrong?
What could go wrong? We can certainly try.
In the process of ordering those drinks, I told him we were about to head out to try to find out what was going on. So now that I've seen that, if there's something he knows or if he's in league, we need to stay ahead of whatever messages he may be sending forward. Oops. We can come back and dig into it after that.
Yeah.
Unless you want to drag him out back now and talk to him. Real nice, like. Sanichi?
Yeah. Yeah, no, let's go. Wait, what?
Go what? Like just leave it go? Or take do that back and give him the business?
No, let's just leave go. Let's not let dude know that we're on to his probable 7-starness. If he's working with goblins.
Tarnan is looking at Geisen, waiting for him to weigh in.
This symbol seems like it's been really important this whole time we've been together. It bothers me a little bit to just ignore it. But I also don't know the best way to proceed if we're not going to ignore it. I don't really want to drag the guy out of his bar.
Fair enough. Let's return our drinks and I'll ask him a few questions quickly.
By the way, Geisen, you probably noticed because Grelda's not great at hiding her emotions and wasn't super trying, but she also felt uncomfortable with not doing anything, but as you spoke, she felt more comfortable because she knows you're smarter than she is, so she's glad you spoke up, and she feels better and is willing to keep going.
Tarnan grabs the mug and starts heading over to the bar. Well, I pick up one glass. I was expecting everyone else to grab one and just come with. To thank our patron.
Oh, Grelda definitely goes.
All right, yeah.
Okay.
He falls in. All right, then everybody walks up to the bar. The small halfling is still at the edge of the bar. He sees everybody come up. Hey, well, you said you were heading off. I appreciate you bringing the glasses back up. I didn't think you needed to, but I appreciate that. Anything else I can get you before you leave?
Just a point of interest. A tattoo on your wrist.
And as soon as you mention it, he kind of his hand goes down. He kind of pulls it back to himself, and he looks around the bar a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about it?
Why don't you tell me about it? Intimidating.
You're just looking intimidating, or are you going to actually threaten him?
If Grelda sees that you're being intimidating, she's definitely going to assist you in this.
It's the tone of voice, the look on his face, and the whole crew staring at him.
All right, then give me... I'm just making sure. Then give me an intimidation roll.
And I will use Grelda as a backup for advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy mother of God. A 9.
What?
So he kind of he's covering it and he holds it up to himself.
Wait, is that using my assist or am I supposed to roll my own?
Twos.
So he does. He has his wrist covered and he pulls it toward him. He kind of looks around and nobody is really paying attention to you guys. Everybody's the few patrons that are in the bar kind of doing their own thing. So he kind of looks around, and as you give him the menacing look, and like Grelda tries to, and Grelda actually like growls a little.
Okay, he rolled lower than my bonus. Okay, I'm just saying.
So he kind of looks at all of you. He's like, well, and he leans in a little bit. There's no need to get upset or angry about it. I haven't met another person who she gave this to. Did she give you one too?
Which she referring to? We've met two very interesting ladies, shall we say.
Well, I don't know anybody but Lucretia who has given these out. She said they were for the very few select special patrons, and they helped me get in without a cover, get more gambling chips, get some free beer, and I haven't seen anybody. She said there were a few. I haven't seen anybody, and nobody's mentioned it. So I was wondering if it was just me. But since you know what it is, figured she gave it to you too.
You didn't get these? You didn't get that from Venetia?
I have no idea who that is. No, Lucretia gave it to me in our boat.
Are you messing with me?
He kind of looks around and looks behind him.
What?
I didn't think you liked the pleasure barge because it was impeding on your business.
His face begins to flush.
Well, they've got dice tables, and I haven't gambled in a long time, and it's fun, and I got some extra chips and some extra drinks. I did it every once in a while. Everybody needs some time away from work, and well, I mean, if you know what it is, obviously you understand. The paradise was a good time.
How did you earn your free entrance and tattoo?
What's up, Tammy?
Just real quickly, because I know Grelda would remember this. Did my favorite horse stable master have a tattoo like that on his wrist?
No.
Okay. Because everything was mentioning like greedy people, and then we've got like this note saying I've got access to all these greedy people. I just wanted to make sure.
No, you have not actually seen anyone else with any like tattoos of the star.
Okay.
You've seen the symbols, like you've seen the medallions and on doors and like
carved into someone's chest.
Yeah, but not a tattoo.
Sure. I mean, technically, tattoo is carved in. Anyway, it's fine. Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
So Icky will, unless there's something.
Oh no, Geisen did ask what he did to get it.
Well, I may have snuck over there a bit more often than I probably should have, and Lucretia noticed, and she just said that I was a valuable customer, and she said that with the tattoo, that I would get special privileges. And I didn't believe her. I thought I'd maybe pass it off or, get something over it, but it worked, and I got in. I didn't have to pay cover. It was a nice little bonus for a few months.
So,
did you not get tattoos?
He was like, "Oh, that's not what we're saying at all. I'd like to admire the craftsmanship if I could. Like, it looks like a particularly well done piece. May I see it more clearly?"
He leans forward a little bit and pulls up his sleeve.
Well, I never thought I'd get a star tattooed on myself, but it's not bad. There's quite a bit of detail in it.
And so he pulls up his sleeve, and you see that it is indeed a 7-pointed star with a lot of the same details as you've seen. It's relatively small to fit on a halfling's wrist, but it is easy to tell that it is the same kind of star you've seen before.
All right. And like about how much of his wrist does it take up?
It's just a little bit like a watch head would be the best comparison I can make. Easily hidden, easily covered by something.
Does Geisen sense anything arcane?
No.
So he was just like, he was just like, yeah, that's a particular like the nicest piece I've seen yet. Very impressive. You must have been a very valuable customer.
Well, so
Grelda,
where did you get yours?
Grelda
during all of this, Grelda basically looks no less intimidating than before, although one hopes, given better roles, she would look more intimidating than before. But everyone else is trying to like be smart and like be kind and like kind of like just tease it out of him. And if he were to look at Grelda, it would not be a good look. She's not attacking him or anything, but it's not good.
All right, so in response to the where did you get yours? He was just like, oh, I got mine in a very discreet place, and you'll have to forgive me, but I can't show you here. I'm a bird of principle.
Didn't that hurt? I mean, the wrist wasn't pleasant by itself. Anywhere else, I can't imagine.
I'm not here to give you an anatomy lesson on an hour coker, son.
Point taken. I didn't think you had been in Turtleback Ferry before. I haven't seen you, so I was surprised that you would be the kind of customers that she'd give this to.
And like I said, I'm a bird of discretion.
Well, if that's the case, then I'm sure you're as disappointed as I am that it's gone. It was a nice distraction. I know a lot of people in town enjoyed it, even if they would try to keep it a secret.
Yeah, it's definitely a shame. We're hoping that we can get to the bottom of that while we're looking into the Black Arrows. Do you think there's any kind of relationship there? Anything? Since you know that we're of a kind now, is there anything else that comes to mind that might help us figure this out?
Give me a persuasion check.
I'll assist.
Yeah, we're going with my original roll. 13.
13?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't really know anything other than the Black Arrows went there on a regular basis. Some more than others. Some a lot more than others. But I wouldn't think that they would have been angry with her and have set the boat on fire or anything like that. They seem to enjoy it as much as the rest of us. Enough that they stopped coming here as much as they did before that barge came in.
What was the name of the road again?
The Paradise.
How?
Got lost.
Okay. Well, right. And they had dice, a pair of dice, paradise.
What was that, Geisen?
How visible is Geisen, like, by the bar? Because he's so short. Like, is he?
If Geisen had got up on a stool, he'd be visible. Otherwise, the bar would be right about like the top of his forehead. So like you'd see like a little bit of your hat.
Okay.
Otherwise, if you had got up on a stool, you would be about stomach height over the bar.
So then Geisen casts prestidigitation to put a mark that looks like that tattoo on his wrist.
Okay.
And then raises it up and asks if any of the Black Arrows also had one of these.
I see. At least one of you were smart enough not to put it in a tender location. I haven't met anybody else myself who has one. Lucretia told me that there were a few special patrons who she gave these to, but none of us really like to talk about it. We don't usually talk about the Paradise when we're not actually on the boat in general. So I haven't told anybody about this little piece of art. So I couldn't tell you one way or the other.
Well, Icky is satisfied, and if nobody else is motioning to ask any other questions, kind of like, well, motion to be like, all right, well, thank you for your, if nobody else looking to talk right, so Iggy will just be like, all right, well, thank you for your time again.
Of course,
hopefully we can, get to the bottom of this and kind of avenge this thing that we've all lost that bound us together.
Well, if you find out it was foul play, I think it does deserve to be avenged. Sad to the ones we lost.
Well, did you know the farmer? 5 people who were lost, 4 other people who were lost at all.
Well, the 2 of them were from out of town. I had seen them on occasion, but I didn't really know them. The 2 farmers I did know, both older gentlemen who spent the majority of their time on the Paradise. We're kind of a small town here, so if you're from around here, you know everybody else from around here.
Okay.
Grelda, based on what he said, she softens a little bit and asks him, "Who have you lost, if you don't mind my asking?"
From the ship?
You just said something about the people you've lost.
Well, the 2 we lost on the ship, there was Tilnick Henriksen and Bartholomew Masterson. They were old farmers. They have passed along their farms to their children and their children's children, so they help here and there. But they spent most of their time on the Paradise. The other 2 I didn't really know. And then, of course, Lucretia herself.
Grelda just nods and, kind of backs off a little.
But if there was foul play, and it wasn't just an accident, I hope you do find who did it. And I hope you figure out what's going on with the Black Arrows. Everybody in town is a bit on edge since we haven't seen them around.
And I'm sorry, you said it was Tilnick Henriksen, and what was the dude's name?
Bartholomew Masterson.
Masterson.
There we go. Haha, I remembered what I said like 30 seconds ago.
And Grelda was really curious what their birth dates are and their favorite colors. And
I don't think it's appropriate to talk of one lost as such. May their souls rest in the afterlife, and we should let them be.
You sure you couldn't tell us their approximate height and weight?
I'm curious the approximate height and weight.
Okay, look, in my defense, he could be talking about someone who was murdered in a completely unrelated accident, and I didn't want that to pass.
Oh, I hate you all. No, all right. So, is there anything else that I can do for you?
Icky tips a claw at him and thanks him for his time and his beer, and starts to head out the door.
Well, be safe.
Later.
All right,
Yeah.
then by the time Icky steps out, it is about 5 o'clock in the evening.
So is there anybody around us immediately as we step outside?
Not immediately around you. You do see a couple of people, like, walking about. You see a few people, but there's nobody directly beside you.
So Icky, in a very hushed tone, looks around at everybody. He's like, "So we're in agreement that the Paradise was probably a front to funnel sacrifices to this cult, right?"
Yeah. I kind of feel bad about not coming down harder on the barkeep and warning him how dangerous that symbol can be.
He's been safe enough with it for a while.
I feel like it's probably in our best interest to, if we were to come down on him hard, if he were to start spreading word against that, might lose us the element of surprise here.
I think we've called enough attention to us and that symbol based on what I was told in Magnemar concerning it already. Yeah, but maybe it's good to know that it's out here too, and maybe having perhaps my pouch, having this necklace with us will end up being a good thing.
Might open some doors.
I have a feeling either Lucretia is not actually dead, or there's some potential ally out there who's also against these people.
Oh, yeah, no, I got one copper piece that Lucretia is not dead.
Grelda throws a gold on that and says, Lucretia is definitely not dead. I can't spell the name. That means she's not dead.
When we took
What about that Telnik guy? Can you spell that? Because he's dead.
Say the name again.
Was it Telnik or Telric or
Cal?
You don't even remember it. That's how you know he's dead.
All
right, what was up, Bill?
I was talking. Turner was talking to the group when we took Zanisha's head and found that letter talking about her sister in Turtleback Ferry and whatnot. Is that Lucretia?
Maybe.
Probably.
Who still has that letter? Can we dig it up real quick and look at it before we get on our way?
Doesn't sound like there's much resemblance, though, if it's a beautiful human and snake lady.
Come now, guys. Things that we've seen changing shape in this stuff. What the heck were those white blank-faced things that we fought? They had perfect likenesses of I can't remember his name.
Well, and this, coming from somebody who, no offense, looks like a dried raisin.
You just made a tattoo appear on your arm. Who's to say they can't make themselves look something else?
All right, let me.
Foxglove. Remember when we knew Foxglove was dead? We walked into those creatures that were all white and pasty looking, and they were basically faking out everybody.
There you go.
Looking like Foxglove and company.
I just want to check real quick. The dried raisin comment. Were you Sassin Geisen?
Absolutely.
That was absolutely Sassin.
All
right.
I wasn't sure who the raisin comment was about. Okay.
I think it's referring to your burn scars, my friend.
I was looking for something far more tasteful, but that's the best I got in just
All right, the letter should be showing for everybody.
Thank you.
Showing, but wow. I cannot read that.
Yeah, is there any way for us to zoom?
Here, give me.
Yeah, I don't know if Nate can or not. Otherwise, I can just read it.
Let me zoom on the text.
All right, in that case, I can just read it. My sister, I trust your little band of murderers is doing well, gathering the greedy souls for our Lord's rise. Has Magnemar proven to be as sinful as you had hoped? It may interest you to know that my plan to nurture greed here in this backwater has blossomed. The quality of greed in a soul is so much more refined when it is given the proper care. Are you still simply carving the Sahedron on them as they expire? How crude. My method of marking is so much more elegant. In any effect, I am sure that your plans for harvesting greed where and when you can find it in the wild are progressing well enough. I just hope that your raw, ungroomed, and likely inferior victims don't interact poorly when mixed with the purity of my own subjects. If you tire of your little project there,
Know that you're always welcome to come to Turtleback Ferry and serve as my assistant, little sister. Fort Rannoch should be in our control by the time you receive this letter. In any event, so there will be plenty of room for you if you wish to take me up on my generous offer.
Well, Tarnan looks at all his compatriots. At least it's not a fucking dragon.
Well, we can deal with dragons.
Right.
It's true.
Yeah, girl is like, I'm not. I think another dragon would be fun. Do another dragon.
Is it
You
me
do
or
two dragons.
You know, they fly away.
That seems to be it seems like the Sahedron is marked on somebody to harvest something when they expire. So this guy's life is probably very much in danger. Maybe he was supposed to have been on the ship when it burned.
Why wasn't he?
It probably
Let's go
would be
deal with Fort Rannoch.
not an ask.
I think we go deal with Fort Rannoch. To me, that's the bigger problem, because if we take that out, he just has to stick with a stupid tattoo on his arm forever. Once we're done with Rannoch, if we got time coming through here, we set him straight on how dangerous it is to have that shit on his wrist. And if need be, we'll claw that right off.
Sounds good.
I mean, yeah,
And then I'll heal him, whatever.
I'm good to head on to Fort Rannoch. I think heading there as soon as possible is a good idea.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, as people are heading out, guys can cast Prestidigitation when Icky is facing the other way and soils the ass area of him in response to his raising comment.
Grelda sees this because she typically takes the rear, looks at Geisen, and says nothing.
All right, so as you follow the trail out of town, it initially follows the Skull River as it kind of curves to the northeast, about 3 miles up, so a little more than an hour into your travel. It's going to be hitting a little after 6 at this point. You do come to a wooden...
Sorry, I don't want to interrupt, but before, I don't know if a battle's going to break out or something, Geisen would cast Portent, like, as we're heading out.
Okay, go ahead and roll quick.
I really hope he learns good tent one of these days.
Mediocre tent.
And
At least mediocre 10.
11 and 14.
Okay. So about 6 o'clock, you do start to see the sun going down. You come to a relatively short, relatively small part of the river, and there is a permanent wooden bridge. So cross that, I'm assuming. And then you continue, the path follows the north bank of the Skull River for another few miles. After you go about 2 more miles up the road, it does go to dusk. I'm sorry, the sun fully sets and you are like at night.
And
what was that?
the fort is what, another 3 or 4 miles off then?
At that point, it'd be another 4 miles away. So it'd be another hour and a half to 2 hour travel.
That's a great place to make camp. Well, this is a great time to make camp. We're not far from the fort. We can get there right away in the morning, unless you want to press on and take our chances under cover of dark.
I'm fine taking a rest for the night.
Sure.
All right.
Grelda agrees with group sentiment and also offers to take first watch.
Haha, that's cool.
And it's by a river too. All right. So then during the night, Grelda, give me a perception check.
I'm using the digital dice again today, y'all. Let's hope it does better this time.
Fingers crossed.
Oh no.
I rolled a 1, which is a 4.
All right. So as Grelda is sitting up by the fire, just kind of like using her giant axe, Sasha, to whittle away a little stick, slowly but surely.
Wait. Sasha is sentient. Can Sasha roll a perception check, please?
No.
Dang it. I tried, y'all. I tried. I'm sorry.
Assist with the perception check.
No.
Did you get like assistance on all of her perception checks because of Sasha?
Whatever
That is
attacking
factually incorrect.
alcohol on it. Is Sasha aware of that? And
Sasha is aware of the closest source of alcohol, and I will actually, like Tam, I know we talked about this last time. I will actually change it to where it's the closest source of alcohol that's not on your person.
Okay, because I would totally have used that earlier today, but I'm going to use it in the future.
Yeah, like if there's alcohol 6 inches away from you, it'll point to that, but it will not point to anything that you are carrying.
Awesome.
so basically, it's going to constantly point to Icky's bloodstream. Great.
Depends on how much Icky's drank recently.
So as Grelda sits out, whittling away a small stick, you hear the crickets. You look up at the stars, for the ones you can see as the clouds pass over, and you're just kind of lost in thought. The rushing of the river. You just kind of like zone out for a couple hours until you finally just kind of like shake your head and like, oh wait, my watch is over. That's right.
Oh, thank God. You made that as bad as it could be. Like, I'm like, just don't make it werewolves. Anything but werewolves.
All right, so your watch ends without incident.
You
And
said
now
they're wolves.
I can throw something at you, love.
Who do you wake up?
I assume we would have agreed on an order ahead of time.
I mean, we're already at camp. Who do you wake up?
I mean, we didn't, so wake someone up.
I guess I'm going to wake up Sanishi, because I feel like Sanishi's the next best capable person.
Yeah, my turn for watch.
All right. Then Grelda lays down to sleep, and Sanishi, give me a perception check.
18.
18? All right. So Sanishi sits down by the fire, looks down, sees a very sharp end to a very small stick that has been meticulously carved. So you kind of pick it up, and you're very surprised at how sharp the end of the stick is. So you actually take out one of your axes, you flip it over, and you're trying to match that on the other end. So, and about an hour and a half into like getting a point that's not quite as sharp, so cutting it off and starting over, and you've made your way down the stick, you hear somewhere in the woods, you just hear a loud, not a loud. You hear it almost sounds like a crash, like a snap crash, somewhere not right nearby, but a little deeper into the woods. You hear one sound, and then that's it. You don't hear anything else.
Okay. I'm gonna stay at camp.
All right, then the rest of your watch.
Sanishi up next.
Then the rest of the your watch goes without incident, and you can wake up the next person.
Turn.
Who are you waking up?
Tarnin. Come on, Captain.
All right, Tarn. Give me a perception check.
Anything to report?
No, well, there's a snap over there, but it's been quiet.
Oh, okay. Just a snap and nothing else?
No. Trying to check it out. Didn't seem
Fair
worthwhile. You're in the woods.
Fair enough. Have a good rest.
Enjoy your watch, Captain.
All right, Tarnan, give me a perception check.
17.
17? All right. So, as you sit down by the fire, you look down at your feet and you notice a stick that is about 5 inches long. Both ends are extremely sharp and very pointy. And you see just like the excess wood carvings just all like around your feet, and you can tell that the 6-inch stick used to be well over 3 feet long, but it has slowly made its way. And you just look down and you spend some time. You're paying attention, but you're just seeing like how like it is actually quite sharp on both ends. Most of your evening goes off without a hitch. You don't hear anything unusual. You don't see anything unusual. You are actually you stand up about ready to wake everybody else up from a good night's rest. But as you stand up, you begin to hear almost mewling sounds. An animal in pain somewhere off in the woods.
Same direction that Shinichi pointed?
Same general direction, yes.
I'll wake up Geisen and Icky gently and say, hey, there's something off that way. Not sure what it is. I'm going to go check it out. Let the other two sleep. If you don't hear me scream, assume everything's good. If I don't come back in 15, 20 minutes, something's bad.
All right, just so you're aware, but just to make sure it's usually just 3 rounds for a full 8 hours rest.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just making sure because you said let them sleep. They did hit that long rest mark.
Okay. They can wake up naturally, or they can. For all I know, as soon as my back is turned, Icky's going to kick them both in the back and say, "Hey, Captain said get up." I don't know.
No, I just want to make sure that you weren't letting him sleep, thinking that another watch was going.
Oh no,
that's all.
No.
Okay.
I fully intend. I want them to have every reason to rest, to be fully rested and ready to kick the living crap out of anything else that has anything to do with angry water, snake ladies, 7-pointed stars. You get the idea.
Do you want me to send out a
gnomes, birds who have shit themselves, you know, the things.
All right, so you're going to start heading off into the woods?
Sneakily, yes.
All right, I need a stealth check and a...
Yeah. Oh, man.
Well, if you're going into the woods to try and find something, you need to be able to navigate. So first a stealth check. See how quietly you can move.
Yeah, I stealthily get there at a 27.
27? Woo. All right, and then I need a nature check.
Which ain't, I'm just fucking -1 already. Come on. You mother trucking son. 5.
5? Okay. So the sound isn't constant. Like you heard it, and then you didn't hear it as you were waking them up, and you started to make your way extremely silently. Like as soon as they turn their backs, they completely lose track of you, and you're moving away to the north. And because it's not constant, you travel a little bit, and then you hear it again. Often, like not the opposite direction. Like you're going northwest, and it ends up being northeast. So you travel that way a little bit, and then you hear it again a few minutes later, and it ends up being a little bit off the path. So you don't go directly towards it. You end up kind of zigzagging as you lose it. But after about 15-20 minutes, you do hear it again, and it is relatively close to the north of you. There is some thick bushes and some trees. You can't see it, but you know that it is within 50 or 60 feet of where you are.
Continue
How far
forward.
away from us?
Usually see it.
Tarnan has been traveling. It's been about 20 minutes since he left.
Yeah, so...
All right, so, Tarnan, you continue close, and you kind of, you peek around a tree, and you see about the size of a large dog, a black cougar with a bright red stripe of fur down its back. It looks the same kind of animal that Gogmort had when you went into the Thistletop, the fire pelt cougar. It is like I said, it's about the size of a large dog, and you can see that one of its hind paws is caught in a steel trap that is closed around it. And every time it tries to pull its leg out, that's when you hear the noise.
I will make my presence known gently. Not like yelling or anything, just kind of purposely wave at it when it's looking in my general direction.
Okay.
And hold up the loser sign because Nate tells me I should.
No, so you will step out. You did tell them to give 15 minutes, so I know Nate wants to do something. So
Right. So I would just like, after it's been like 15 minutes, we get into that. He's gone for 20 minutes. There's like Icky at least, likely Geisen as well, would be like, make sure the rest of the party is up together. And excuse me, have we been able to hear the sounds that have been following, at least?
I'd say more or less. Like, you might not hear every single one of them, but you hear a couple along that time period.
So yeah, unless anybody else has any objections or other ideas, I think we just start heading towards the sounds. Icky would suggest, if anybody thought it would be a good or bad idea, for either him or Ollivander, perhaps, to fly ahead, see if we can find Tarnin. But at this point, that's what I'm in for.
Grelda would actually ask you to do that while still like forging ahead, like at full dwarven speed.
Okay, then Grelda, give me a nature check.
Okay.
Icky, you're gonna fly up and off. So Icky is flying towards you. What did Grelda get?
Literally, I have a -1 on this. Okay, I still got a 15.
Oh,
but
nice.
the perception that I got a +3 on, I'm just gonna biff it.
All right, so
way.
Grelda is able to keep the party on a relatively straight path. You do still hear it occasionally, and you notice that it's pretty much in the direction you thought it was each time. So you do make pretty good time. Geisen, so it was about 20 minutes. You guys head off. Geisen, you'd probably get there in another, since you don't have to go through trees, you get there in another 5-7 minutes.
Geisen?
I'm sorry. Icky. My apologies. Icky would get there I'd say Icky get there in about 5 minutes. The rest of the party would take 8 or 9.
Okay.
Alright, so as you guys are coming forward, now Tarnin, you step out. The animal does turn and see you, and you come out slowly because you're expecting a wild animal. You want to make sure that you don't surprise it. And as soon as it sees you, it like looks at you and then looks down and whimpers, and it kind of pulls at its leg and then looks back at you. And it's not giving any menacing.
How far away is it?
About 30 feet from where you're at.
Perfect. I'll get to about 20 feet from it, go down to one knee, and begin casting a spell. And I cast, what is it? The hand. Mage hand.
Okay.
Yep.
The spectral hand appears in front of you.
And I send it towards the animal,
Mm-hmm.
and use the mage hand to try to open the trap for it.
What is the poundage on mage
10.
hand? And it's a single hand, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Very dexterous single hand.
The animal, like, as the spectral hand goes towards it, the animal flinches just a little bit, and then almost seems to understand what you're trying to do. And the hand goes down to the trap, and you notice it moved slightly, but it is a large, heavy-duty trap, so the hand is not able to do much with it.
Okay. Seeing that, I explain it to myself in calm words. It's not enough. I need to come closer. I'm sorry to invade your space, but I gotta at least try. And then I'll approach slowly and see how the animal is reacting to it.
Give me an animal handling check.
Oh, it's not terrible. 14.
14? All right, so as you come towards it, you notice that the animal doesn't seem to flinch or be scared of you at all. It it's all you get the impression that the animal is
Familiar with humanoids.
yes, it's used to being around people, and it looks at you and looks down at its bloody hind leg that's caught in this trap, and it doesn't give any aggressive tendencies or positions towards you.
Okay. I get up to it. I soothe it by petting it if it'll let me touch it, and then I move my hand down towards the leg and as gently as Tarnan can, like picking locks, release the tension and then open the trap.
This particular trap, I need a strength check to force it open.
I can't. This isn't got a spring mechanism or something that I can spring because it's like a trap.
It's like
Literally
a bear
touching
trap. My understanding with bear traps is you have to force them open. The mechanism keeps them open.
You're the DM. I'm just throwing out what I would look for to try to do. If there's a way I can disable this before trying to open it so it doesn't slam back shut, that's what I would prefer to do. So just straight strength check?
Yeah, give me a strength check.
12.
12? You do manage to move it a little bit, but even with that, it's not enough to open it so it clamps shut. You open it just a little bit and then you're not able to get it further than that. You can tell that this trap was not designed to be opened by somebody of your size. It is a much larger and much more heavy-duty trap than you have seen in the past.
While we're on the way there, I totally forgot that we were going to rest before we went forward, so Jason's going to cast Portent again.
Alright, go ahead and give me the roll. And you guys would probably get there. Would probably be another minute or two, Tarnan, before they get there. So they'd be pretty close behind to where you are at right now.
Give me a second.
Icky would
Icky would be getting there right about the time that you failed to open it the first time.
Okay.
You would come across the top and be able to see down. Everybody else would be a couple minutes behind you.
16 and 15.
Okay.
And then Gusson would also cast Mage Armor.
Okay, how long does that last?
8 hours.
8 hours, I think.
Okay.
Does Tarnan notice Icky coming down, or is it a surprise?
Icky didn't say anything about being quiet, so I figured you'd be able to hear him.
Okay. Hearing the familiar sound of his wings, Tarnan will say, "Another friend of mine is coming. Calm down." Just trying to soothe him.
Okay.
And then without actually looking at Icky, say, "Icky, we got a wounded animal here. It seems to be used to humanoids, but I can't open this trap by myself."
Alright, then Icky would land and
carefully make his way towards the animals to not, spook it or anything. But then if I get up to it without it freaking out, I'd try to help see if Tarnan and I together could open it.
Alright, then either one of you can roll a strength check, or with advantage, or you both can roll strength checks.
You go ahead.
Right.
Well, we can both roll, I guess. I don't know. Which do you prefer, Nate?
I don't.
Yeah,
really,
neither is mine.
I don't have a strength modifier to speak of.
I have a negative
There's
one.
two parts to it, right? Can one grab one end and one grab the other?
Well, that's what I mean. They can, since they're both doing it together, either one can roll with advantage because he's helping them, or they can each roll their own separate strength checks.
And then my mage hand can put the trigger back in place. So we've actually got 5 freaking hands. I'm sorry, 3 hands and 2 claws. My bad.
Ooh, 18.
A what?
18.
Let's go with yours.
What did you get, Tarnan?
A 3.
3?
I must be concentrating on the mage hand, apparently.
Alright, so with Icky's help, you do manage to pull the trap open, and it gets to about halfway open, and you both are struggling to keep it that way. The animal does manage to kind of flop over, and its leg does come out just as both of your grips loosen, and it snaps close. So the animal is kind of laying on its side. Its one foreleg is outstretched, and you can see where the teeth of the trap had dug into it. And right about that time, the rest of the party does make their way out into the clearing.
Grelda, I have someone that you might want to talk to.
Grella immediately begins casting Speak with Animals.
And as she's doing that, I, again, blah, 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 blah. The animal doesn't understand me, but I will expend 1d6 worth of healing into it.
And Grella will also toss a muffin.
It gets 6 hit points back. After I, do my best to place it in position and then heal it.
Okay. You can tell that the bone of the leg is damaged somewhat, so your healing does stop the bleeding, and the skin on the leg begins to heal a little bit. You can tell that the bone itself is broken.
Okay. Magic healing, man. It's supposed to heal whatever. You tell me what happened.
No, there are specifically spells that heal like broken bones and replace limbs. The basic healing spells just give back HP. They don't heal more intense injuries like that.
Need some Skelegro.
Right?
So it does take 10 minutes for Speak to Animals casting to finish. So muffin toss.
So the animal looks at the muffin, looks at you, and you can sense that it understands the gesture, but it doesn't take a bite of the muffin.
Okay, the last cat ate the muffin, though. All right, that's all I'm saying. This is not my first time feeding a muffin to a cat in this.
It's also
campaign.
not the same cat.
Yes. Well, you never know. It could have been. That cat escaped, hopefully, and was not horribly burned to death.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Okay. All right, so it is going to be 10
do
minutes.
Anything to improve its mood?
What was that?
Did the healing actually seem to do anything to improve its mood? Does it feel calmer? Or does it seem less stressed and pain?
It seems less. It seems slightly less in pain. It was generally calm to begin with, so I would say its general demeanor is the same.
Okay.
It's not actively bleeding anymore, but it's definitely seems calm and very used to your presence around it. All right. So anything else that you would like to do? Anybody during the 10 minutes of casting time?
Geisen would just kind of keep an eye out while this is happening.
Give me a perception check.
Does anybody want to help?
You'd be helping out.
Uh, 20.
20? All right. So, Icky and Geisen kind of step towards the edges of the clearing, 10, 15 feet away from where the animal is, and just kind of pay attention. As soon as, Grelda, as soon as the casting is done, Geisen and Icky, you do begin to hear sounds to the north. They still seem to be relatively far away, like they're not in your immediate vicinity, but you do hear them, and they do start to become louder. Seems you hear like the sound of trees being pushed down.
And it sounds like it's growing nearer.
It does. Even in that time you've been hearing, it does sound like it's steady, and it does seem to be coming towards you. Yes.
Trees do that all the time. That's normal.
Yeah.
Okay, but that happened. Like you start to hear that as Sinishi finishes the spell.
As Grelda finishes the
Sorry.
spell?
Good lord. Yes, I'm calling everybody by the wrong name now.
So Grelda immediately just begins by like, hello friend. So when I do this, what do my teammates hear? Do they hear what I'm saying? How does this work?
I am gonna say that everybody around you hears common, but the animal hears its own language.
Okay.
Because that way, if there was a squirrel and a cat next to each other, you could talk to them both at the same time because they would both hear you in their own language.
Okay. So Grelda begins by just confirming, are you okay? Is there anything we can do to help? Like just calming, we're friends kind of language. And then also at the same time, like kind of like motioning towards Tarnin, like, what do we want to ask him? Her, them. He, she, and or they.
Before I answer that question, has Tarnin noticed Geisen and or Icky being watchful of one specific area, or has Tarnin heard the noise?
Is Tarnin paying attention to the animal? Because if you were still kind of focused on the animal, I would say not yet.
I was focused on the animal as far as healing, and once my healing was really not doing crap to it, I kind of started stepping back and let Grelda do what she does.
Alright, then I would say not quite yet.
Okay.
Tarnin wouldn't notice anything yet, because as far as I know, Icky and Geisen haven't really responded to the sounds they've heard yet, at this time when this is happening.
And that's
With
what I
that
want
in mind,
to let this unfold.
What was that, man?
Shortly after Icky identifies that there's like trees crashing and it's coming closer, he'd communicate that. Be like, hey, we may have something coming in in a way.
Would too.
I would say that would happen right about the time Grelda was waving you over. So you kind of, both of these things would be coming into you at once.
What? How does the cat respond? I'm sure the cat hears the sounds as well.
I will actually say not yet.
Okay.
in that case, I nod to Icky, thank him, walk over to Grelda and say, there's something coming. Ask them for permission for us to move him to a different location and try to help him. It.
Can I suss the gender of this animal out right now?
It is a female.
All right. This is not a safe location. Would you be okay with us moving you to a safer location to help you more?
Through the images and feelings you get back, you know that the animal is all right with being moved. It does not feel that it can move swiftly because its leg is injured. But it does let you know that it needs to get away from what is coming. And that's the time it hears, like, as it's talking to you, it begins to hear the noise and see everybody's tension rise. So its head does snap back, and it just says, "They're coming after me."
Do you know what they are? What's coming?
It's you see a mental image of large ogres, with large hounds on chains, and you get the idea that they have been chasing this particular animal for weeks.
Oh, wow. I relay this as quickly as possible to the rest of the group.
He's like, well, let's see if we can pick her up and let's get moving.
Icky, you stay with me, please. The rest of you head back to camp. Icky and I are going to try to throw these things off. First off, ask your friend, our new friend here, if she minds if I sniff her. I need to get her smell so that I can put it out elsewhere. I know it sounds really weird, but I just got this idea.
All right. So Grelda says, we are not going to let them get you. And everyone hears this, and it's like, oh God, Grelda made a promise. Cheers. Again. But then Grelda asks, my friend would like some of your fur to try and hide our scent while we take you somewhere safer. Can we do that?
It gives you permission.
Okay.
Okay, so
Immediately knife, like just real, like as nowhere near the skin, definitely no chance of danger or whatever. Get some fur and hand it off to Tarnan.
Tarn takes it, smells it. Gotta hope I'm not allergic. Roll for allergies. Okay.
Roll for allergies.
Your
is
throat,
something
your
we've never
throat
seen.
closes up, and Tarnan drops dead. Where's my
And now his watch
EpiPen?
is ended.
You're the only one with a magical EpiPen. We got
I
nothing.
cast EpiPen.
I cast EpiPen.
That counts as
So-
prestidigitation. I believe it.
So as gently as possible, as soon as like handing the hair off, immediately Grelda like gently, while quickly still picks up the cat and like throws it kind of over the shoulder of fireman's carry.
Okay. Give me a strength check just for your movement.
All right, if I fail this one, I am just gonna have to go back to real dice. I'm sorry. It's not a saving throw. It's a regular strength check. 15.
15? All right.
I don't have advantage on strength checks yet, unless I'm raging. So
No. Okay. So,
okay.
what's everybody doing?
Yeah, what's the plan, Tarnan?
I have Grilda, Zanishi, and Geisen heading back off to camp, taking care of our new patient, however they wanted to do it. Fantastic. Icky, I'm using you as a distraction. Sorry, brother, but you're the fastest one, and I'm going to give you a bit more speed. On top of that, I want you to rub this hand, and I touch it and cast prestidigitation and make it smell very much just like her fur, and it lasts for 1 hour. Touch every damn tree, every bush you can as you move this way, away from us. Okay? Meanwhile, I'm going to prestidigitate this entire area and try to get her scent away and follow the group back, covering her scent with other prestidigitation spells.
All right.
Once you've gotten, 15 minutes out of here, circle back and come to us as safely as you can.
Do I wouldn't have any way of terminating the scent from me, would I?
You're right.
Would you have a way of making it last less than an hour?
Yes, I will cancel it in 15 minutes. No, here, I'll cast it on a stick instead of you.
Okay.
I cancel it off of him. Cast it. It's prestidigitation. It doesn't cost anything. So now the stick smells a lot like her. Rub it everywhere. And when you're done, just drop it off.
Okay.
Any other ideas that I may be overlooking?
Not that Icky would pick up on.
Fantastic. That's the plan. Best of luck, friend. And look, I know it's not a dragon, but don't try to take these on by yourself.
I'm on it. Don't worry.
Fair enough. Good luck.
All right. So Icky then flies off in the opposite direction of that, of camp, and starts just like flying low and just like brushing the stick against trees, rocks, whatever, as he passes.
All right.
And for any of the rest of the group that looks around, they'll see a sheepish-looking Tarnan sniffing the ground and making the path that they followed smell more like that. Sniffing the nearest tree and casting prestidigitation over where these guys walked to cover their scent. And doing that every 6 seconds.
All right. As Icky is moving away, the group is moving away, Tarnan is moving. You do hear the noises and the sounds come closer. You do end up also hearing the barks of dogs, along with some very deep, muffled voices. As you do this, all right. So the group makes it back to camp with the animal. Icky, you do your thing for 15 minutes. Tarnan, you do your thing. What are you guys going back to camp after you do that?
Yeah. After I've gone out for 15 minutes, I like just throw the stick as hard as I can and then beeline back for camp.
All right. So as you make your way back to camp, both Tarn and Nikki, give me a perception check.
Whoop.
10.
Natural 20.
Natural 20. All right, Tarnan, you don't hear anything. Icky, you do. Like you throw your stick, and as you're kind of trying to make your way back towards camp, you do hear the sound again, and you hear it to the west of where you're at. You're going south, and you actually hear like muffled voices, and you hear them raise and almost start shouting. You can't quite make out what they're saying, but then you hear the noises start to head north, the opposite direction that you're going, where you were coming from.
Okay. Well, I assume that nothing else happens to me or anybody else before I arrive.
No, you and Tarnan both arrive back at the camp.
All right. So,
Okay,
so once,
before they arrive at the camp,
Yes,
on
as
the
soon as
way
you
to
get
the camp, Grelda would continue to ask the cat questions while carrying it.
Okay.
Why do they want you? What's your name? She would start with what's your name, but then why do they want you? Like what's going on?
You get the sense that the closest thing she has to a name is Firewind. As for the why do they want you, you get a series of images and thoughts that tell you the cat tells you of the fact that it had been befriended by the people at a fort, at a stone building near a waterfall, and it had followed them when they went out on hunts, and they had left some of their kill for it. It had seen these men fight ogres in the woods, and the timing of these hunts and these trips outside of their stone building would happen at regular intervals. So the animal had come to the stone building knowing that the next time out was coming up, and as it approached, it smelled smoke and heard fighting, and as it came into seeing distance, it saw the gates open and fires inside of their stone building, and a couple of ogres saw this animal and chased it, and it got away, but they seem to come back every day to look for it, and you get the sense that it has gone back to the fort a few times, and it always ends up getting seen, and it always ends up getting chased, and it seems to have a harder and harder time getting away.
I relay all of this, in between giant gulping breaths of air, because we are moving at speed and I'm carrying a thing. But I want to make sure, it's just the two of us. It's
you, Sanishi, and Nikki. Yep.
Dyson. Know what's being said as we go. And so, if you have additional questions, this is a good point while we're moving. Because I think you said it was like a good 5 to 7 minutes, maybe at speed, to get back to camp.
If you're going in the straight direction, it would be 7 minutes walking. Give me a survival check, just to make sure that you head straight.
Can we have Sanishi help me with that? Because I just really feel like.
Yeah,
I'm thinking, wouldn't Dyson be able to help more? Doesn't he have that thing where he just knows what direction north is and he knows which direction to travel?
I do.
No.
Do you?
I do not think he took that particular feat.
Oh,
I have nature a lot. Okay.
No, I know what feat Bill's thinking of, and Jasper had that. Geisen.
No. I'm gonna let Sanishi roll on her own, assuming because we're just kind of going together, moving.
Yeah, you're going as a group. If you would like her to kind of take the lead.
back. She
Well,
could absolutely do that.
I'll roll one and I'll let her roll the other.
Okay.
I had a 12.
I don't have her character sheet in front of me.
I can bring it up.
But I shouldn't roll for her. I rolled
You rolled a what?
So did
a
I.
1.
So did I.
Natural 1.
I kind of am afraid to roll again. Should I just roll again and just let's just roll with it?
Probably.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, that was 4. That was 4. That was a big old fat
so
4.
instead of, you don't end up going like in the opposite wrong direction. Yeah, it does take you about 10 minutes to get back instead of 7, 12, 13 minutes. It takes you a few extra minutes, so you don't go straight there. But
Okay.
I would say right about the time Icky gets done with his distraction and throws his stick and starts heading back, that's about the time you come to camp.
Stick. He said stick. I saw you look up, Nate. It was the word stick.
Stick.
No, I heard stick as well.
Was it a stick? It was a stick.
Yeah, it
Yes.
was.
Stick.
The look up was like you're inferring things.
Anyway, we get there.
Yes.
Wait, on the way, did Geisen have any additional questions that he would request? Because 10 minutes is a long time, and that's not all the time Grelda spent talking.
Ask how she ended up in the trap.
I do so.
You get the sense that this is not the first trap like this that she's encountered. She's usually been able to see them and avoid them, but a little while before she was caught in the trap, she had been chased by these things, by these ogres. She managed to lose them, but in her weariness, she missed it. And in the middle of the night was caught in it and has been trying to get out for a while.
Grelda asks if she has cubs.
No.
Thank God. This would definitely have gone horribly if she had cubs, because Grelda would not let any of them come to harm. Okay. No babies. We have no kittens. We're good.
Yeah, no babies.
No babies.
No babies. Anything else from Geisen?
So you might already know this from what the images you saw. It appeared that the ogres who had attacked the fort.
That is the impression you got.
She would probably have smelled ogres around. Have the ogres been here long?
What do you mean? I guess as the DM, I'm not sure about your question.
I guess it seems like Firewind was probably a wild animal in the area of the fort.
Mm-hmm.
Have there always been ogres, or did ogres come recently?
There have always been ogres. She does say again about how the people from the fort happened to, like, they would go out and they would fight them to keep them from coming too close. And that has just always been a thing. You get the sense that ogres in certain parts of the wood have always been something she has dealt with. They're usually not as close as they are now. The people of the fort usually keep them further out.
Okay. Nate, can you think of anything she would ask?
Not offhand, no.
Do they look like giant goblins? What does an ogre look like? I'm sorry, I'm just gonna throw it out there.
We've already established that they don't. I feel like she wouldn't be obsessing over that.
Okay.
But no, yeah, I'd be like, maybe she would ask, like, do you know of any weaknesses? But like, other than that,
that's a good question. Yeah.
like,
You get a mental image of many swords and arrows being stabbed into it, and the animal considers that a weakness.
No. That's my relaying of that information. Although we're probably coming pretty close to camp as far as time-wise goes in conversation. If no one else has any questions, she will extrapolate upon the no, but otherwise she's just going to say no.
I'm just going to ask her one more. Does she have a safe place, like a den, nearby?
She lets you kind of see where her den is, and from her den it is a very short trip to the stone building. She has moved herself relatively close to it since she has gotten along so well with them.
I relay this. So it's not near here necessarily. It's just closer to the fort.
Yes.
So we still need to defend her. It's basically Grelda's take from all of this is we're gonna have to set up a perimeter and like save this cat at all costs.
The only other thing that I could think Sanishi might ask is if she had any notion of where the ogres are based out of.
She mentions that she has gone back to the fort occasionally, every few suns, every few moons at night. And every time she gets close, she smells and hears that there are still some ogres in the stone building.
Okay.
Is Tarn gonna catch up yet?
I would say, are there any other questions that you would want to ask on the walk? Otherwise, Tarnin and then Icky do come.
Yeah, no, I feel like that's probably the amount we could do, especially with the translation timing needing to happen. So.
Okay, then everybody ends up Tarnin first, and then a few minutes later, Icky ends up showing up.
How many are there?
Grelda relays everything she's been told, because she was given an image of the ogres and the dogs.
How many?
So, did Icky get a sense, since when he rolled his really high perception roll, to see like that they're heading away, like about how many different sounds he could identify?
I would say you heard a few voices. Mm-hmm. So definitely, I would say 3 or more.
Okay.
3 or more separate.
So,
you couldn't hear what they were saying, but you could tell that there were at least 3 different voices talking to each other.
So he's like, yeah, I heard at least 3 different voices. I couldn't speak to how many more there might be, or how many of the dog creatures there could be. But I do think that we led them off the trail. They last I heard them, they were heading north away from us. So I think that we're good for now, but I don't think it's quite safe to relax fully.
Okay. So based off everything that Grelda got from our new friend here, what you've seen, Icky, and what I picked up about what the fort's going on, we need to make a decision. First, do we think there are any people to save in that fort? And if so, we need to move fast, because my understanding of ogres is they like to eat people. Or just tear them apart for fun.
Honestly, I asked that to the cat. She definitely knows there's ogres in there, but does she have any sense that there are people alive still in the fort?
She can't say for certain one way or the other. She has not seen or smelled any. She does tell you that, but
yeah, she hasn't been in the fort, so no. Yeah.
In her times interacting with the people from the fort, was there like a back entrance or something that she noticed, like a different way in?
Actually, she's probably scouted the entire perimeter of the fort, so I relay that question with additional...
You get images of people walking in and out of... So you get the image that there is a river, and then there are 2 bridges and 2 main entrances that most of the people walk in and out. There is also a waterfall just to the side of the fort, and she lets you know that she has seen people come out of the waterfall.
I definitely relay that.
Fantastic. That will come in depending on what we decide to do next.
I believe there's a proverb from Desna saying that you shouldn't go chasing waterfall.
Please stick to the rivers and the
lakes
that you're used to.
All right, what was that, Tarnin?
Sorry.
I don't even know anymore.
Sorry, not sorry.
We've hit the TLC portion of the evening.
Yeah.
All right. Grelda, by the way, noticing that the muffin was ineffective, offers our guest, while this deliberation is going on, because Grelda's definitely not part of that, either a beer or a meat choice. You can have your pick. Do you want a
Just
beer? Do you
a
want a
meat?
meat? Or both?
The animal gladly takes a meat from you.
I assume I've got some sort of like jerky or something. I don't know.
In your rations, I would assume so. Yes.
I don't think it would be labeled
A meat. Would you like a beer or a meat or a muffin?
Those are the 3 food groups.
The menu at Grelda's eventual gastropub.
This is literally all I serve at my gastropub. But would you like a beer, a meat, or a muffin?
I'll take a meat.
So yes, the animal does. It seems to have a little bit of a tough time because it would be like jerky.
Yeah,
it
not
does
fresh
gladly
meat for
take it,
sure.
and it does thank you because you get the sense that it has been a couple of days since it's eaten.
I give it additional meats.
Do we have any meat muffins?
I don't. I only have berry muffins. It's such a shame. The next time we provision, I will get meat muffins.
Perhaps you should consider a meat beer.
Oh my god, Grelda takes so many notes. A venison beer.
Ooh, or a bacon beer.
Or a boar beer.
Grelda's
Sean's rolling
mind
dice.
is
It's not
erasing.
great. All right, we're done.
Let's just hope the ogres don't have any beers that they've been brewing in Fort Rannoch.
Right.
If they do, I will search the bodies and find them, okay?
We'll never get out of this fort. It's never going to happen.
What if the beers are brewed with human skin? Grelda will be torn, but it's fabulous. No one knows.
Well, the skin.
So a Soylent IPA?
Yes. Yes.
Is it okay if it's human skin but not dwarf? If it's dwarf,
Right? I know. Where do you draw the line? Y'all are basically the same as this cat who is communicating with me.
Anyway.
I've broken Nate.
Putting
I'm
that
sorry.
away for another moment in time. Y'all are basically the same as this cat I'm talking to. What?
Aren't you? The cat's given us really useful intel.
Okay.
Yeah, what have you done for us lately?
I brought you to this wonderful wood next to this beautiful stream.
Anyway, Grelda, push that aside. It's fine. All right, moving on.
Can the cat lead us? Is her den in between? Well, I don't know if she would know, but is her den in between where we are now and the fort, or like can she lead us to her den? So
I say that, and then sort of like add in, like, kind of, can you tell me where your den is?
You get the sense that her den is, again, it's relatively close to the fort, so she could help. She could point you in the direction, but it's a ways from here because you're still miles away from the fort.
And Grelda honestly Grelda's against trying to use her to get us closer when she's clearly being pursued by enemies.
Well, I just wanted that to be a safe place to, like, I don't know what we're going to do with her. We could take her to her den and she'd at least have somewhere safe to be.
And ask her if she would prefer that.
She lets you know that she would feel safe in her den. She has not been attacked by ogres while she has been in her den yet.
Okay.
Fantastic. We can put her in the den. However, we still need to figure out the people thing. The cat is alive and fine and is with us. The people are not fine and with us. If we think they're alive, we need to do something to help them. If we think they're dead, then we need to avenge them. And that would take more time to be thorough, it would be safer because we can split the damn ogres out. Next time they go out to try to chase down this cat friend of ours, we can ambush them and take out that hunting party and their hunting dogs. And when they don't return in a day or so, or hours, or whatever it takes, it would be great if those other ogres decided to come to us for once, and we can spring a trap and destroy them. Then we can go into the fort, take it as ours, and hopefully find some survivors and free them. If we think they're survivors, we need to decide, do we just say, screw it, Nishi, hold on. Do we say screw it and charge forward and do the best we can with who we are now? Or do we try to play it safe and lure some out at a time and take it slower, take it as we know we can handle, not just jump into this?
Well, it seems like at this point, the ogres have had the fort for weeks, probably, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, if they're going to kill any survivors, they probably would have done that by now.
So you're in favor of the idea that there are no survivors?
What do we know about?
Well,
Either there are none, or the ones that are there probably aren't in imminent danger of being killed. Like, if they've been keeping them alive this long, there's no reason that they would necessarily kill them right away now.
I guess maybe my concern is for the ones that are going to just be dinner tonight, if there are any left.
So Grelda at this point says, I don't know ogres. I know goblins a little, but I don't know ogres. Why would they take over a fort? Is that normal?
If they felt like they wanted it, my understanding is they just take it. They're brutes. I'm not trying to lump them into an entire race of assholes. However, we, as smaller, lesser, puny things, are smaller, lesser, puny things in their mind, and they just do whatever the hell they feel like. We don't matter as much to them. Regardless of what their intelligence level is, they don't look at us as equals. They look at us as playthings, look, some people like cats, right? Some people put a with cat and just put it out of its misery, and other people would have killed the cat with malicious intent. That's what people are. Different. But they all would have looked at this animal as being less than us.
Tarnin, give me a survival check.
Oh, damn it. I'm going to die. The cat looks at me with this rage and just rips off his face.
The cat can't understand you.
A survival check?
Yes.
An 11?
11? You would know that for ogres, it's more of they only respect anything more powerful than them. Anything that is less powerful than them is food. Period.
That jives with what he was saying, I think.
Yeah, I'm just letting you know that it's mainly, it's not about size, it's about intimidation. If they feel that they can eat something, then they'll eat it. And if they can't eat it, most likely it'll kill them, so they will give it respect.
With that in mind, if we decide to take on a fort, we need to brutally destroy the first couple we come across. And maybe the rest will back off.
Can you do that with a trap? You mentioned traps. Grelda's intrigued by the idea of trapping them.
Yeah, well, if we know that their dogs will pick up this cat's scent and come at her, now that I know what her scent smells like, I could be that scent and run like hell to wherever we want them to go and lead them to you guys laying in wait.
Grelda picks up Sasha and goes, could I be the scent?
Hmm.
It's possible, but I would prefer to see you jump out and just obliterate one with that one not even knowing what the hell hit it, and then getting to play in all your ragey glory with the next 3 or 4 or whatever.
All right, I like this plan.
Any other thoughts, ideas? Geisen, you've been quiet. Counteract me, man. What am I missing?
I like the idea of laying a trap for them.
All right, let's do it.
Do we stay here or do we head towards the den?
We get closer. We don't want to. I don't feel like running 3 miles back to you guys just in case something goes wrong. I mean, I may be the most expendable of the group, but that doesn't mean I want to be the most expendable.
So we feel like we're safe right now, right? For a little while we move. We're moving camp.
Yes, I believe.
So then Grelda asks Sanishi if Sanishi feels like she can hunt safely in our area to get game for the cat, if that would be something she would feel comfortable doing.
I think that she would do that. And she would feel comfortable doing it.
Okay.
What is everybody's passive perception?
I
will look up
13.
Sanishi's.
Today only, it's a 41.
Grelda is holding the cat. I assume Grelda is carrying the cat for this instead of like asking it to limp next to us. Assuming the cat's okay with it.
If we're at the camp, I thought we were just staying at the camp until we decided where the hell we're going.
Oh, I thought we were moving. I thought we were on the move.
Tarnan, what's your passive perception?
It's actually 14. I was dyslexic.
14?
My bad.
Icky?
12.
12? Geisen?
11.
11. Sanishi's is 11 as well. Okay. I just want to make sure I have that.
As far as trapping them, we already know that they responded to one of their traps going off, right? And they sent a party out to investigate the trap. Is there any way we can use that? Like, go back to that trap, set it off, but lay an ambush for them, or send Alabander out to look for another trap to set off? Just
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be a bad idea to go back to that trap and see if they reset it once they got to it.
We could definitely do that. I was just offhandedly thinking that we would ask our new feline friend if she were going to ambush something large, where in this area near the fort would she do it? And we'll go check out that area and see if we can set up something and lure them there.
The cat lets you know that the closer you get to the fort, because the fort is against part of the mountain range. As you get closer to the fort, there become a lot of high stones, and that is where it would usually pounce on prey. They would sit atop the stones and jump on top of them. But those happen relatively close to the fort because that's where the mountain range is.
I relay this.
I think that could work, Geisen. You find an eagle-eye spot on top where you can watch them come in and cast all kinds of death and destruction on them. Grelda
I'm not sure about is how do we lure them out into our spot?
One of us is going to smell just like this cat and basically spread the scent for the dogs to pick up and bring 3, 4, whatever it is at a time to us. We obliterate them, and if no one comes back, from there we decide if we want to wait for them to send out a party to find their missing friends, or if we just want to take the fort, knowing that they are at least down a few members of their party.
When Icky did the stick thing, did they head in the direction of the stick? Like, did they follow his trail, or did they go back the way they came?
They seem to be... They followed me until the trail ended, then they headed north.
Oh, okay. So they did respond to the scent then. Okay.
Yeah, they did. They kind of crossed paths with Icky, where Icky had come from.
Okay, yeah.
All right. While you guys are talking, Icky, you do hear the same noise in the distance, and you do notice that it is coming in your direction.
Okay. So as soon as I notice that, I'd be like, guys, I hear them again. It sounds like they're coming this way. We may not have time to set up an ambush elsewhere. We may be able to seize this opportunity, though.
Let's ambush them here.
What do we do? They can't get the cat.
Where's a safe place around here to put her? Away from where we're going to attack her. We're going to attack them. We're going to go towards them a little bit, but not so far out that we can't come to her aid if we need to.
I ask her if she knows this area. Is there someplace you can hide here, nearby?
You get the sense that at the base of a tree, a rock outcropping, there's nowhere in particular in this area that she would know to go. She's just thinking of general places that she would hide anywhere.
Okay. Grelda, find a spot 100 yards the opposite direction from the noise. You don't understand 100 yards. 30 seconds walk that way.
I was going to say, Grelda just kind of goes for a bit, but okay, 30 seconds. All right, she does it. Hike, hike, hike. Take the cat with her.
Okay. You find a spot at the base of a pine tree where the bottom of it kind of brushes the ground, so it's very easy for her to hide under there and not be seen, and that's about the best you can come up with in that time.
Okay. Grelda indicates, like, if we don't come back, run, hide, whatever, take care of yourself, don't worry about us. And then she immediately, as fast as possible, goes back to the group.
All right, Tarnan?
Tarnan follows and uses prestidigitation to cover the cat's smell where she's hiding, and then cover the cat's smell on her way back as best as possible.
Okay.
With and say again?
Geisen will help with that too, since you can cast it too.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you. All right. Now let's look for the best location. I mean, they're going to come towards the camp, right?
They are coming. They seem. Icky notices that they seem to be coming in your general direction. Yes, when you were at the camp.
So let's. This river really isn't there, is it? This is just a representation.
I will. You are the river is there. It is wider than this, but you were following the road that ran like parallel to the river. So you either camped like right off the river or a little further into the woods, but you would be really close to where the river is.
A little further into the woods would be fantastic. But we're close to the river now. Okay. So based on where they're coming from the north?
Yes.
Fantastic. So we put the cat to the south without putting her in the river.
Okay.
Is what you're telling me.
I believe so, in the direction that you went.
Then we also want to go. We want to leave the camp. We're going to leave the camp set up. That's their visual draw, to keep them kind of focused on that instead of where we're going to be, which is going to be 30 seconds into the woods, away from camp, waiting for them to come between us or towards us. Once they're past us or between us, feel free to light them up in any way you feel like. I mean, you want to jump out of a tree and plant an axe all the way through them, please do. If you want to take 2 axes at a time and take out hamstrings and watch them fall and scream and grab at their ankles, go right ahead, looking at Sanishi. If you want to dive out of the tree and claw the hell out of their eyes, beautiful. And if you just want to engulf them in flame, let us know before you do that, damn it. It's getting really sick and burning us all the time. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that's one thought I had is maybe if we are going to ambush them, maybe people don't get too close right at the beginning.
All right, how about you set it off? Whatever you do to them, you do first, and then we go.
Sounds good, as long as it works out that way. I mean, it really depends. We don't know exactly where they're going to come out or anything. But
Geisen, we don't have a lot of time. You tell me where you want them to go. If it means I have to jump out of hiding and make them chase me, I'll make them go where you want to go. Just let me get out of the way before you blow up the entire area.
Just somewhere in the clearing that I can see them, that, people aren't too close to them.
If they don't go there on their own, I'll make it happen. and then you guys can save my ass and laugh about it at the bar 3-4 days from now. Agreed?
Sounds good.
Okay.
All right.
Should I
Okay.
just roll for initiative now?
What was that?
Should I roll for initiative now?
It depends on. Well, we're gonna wait because we don't know who's doing what.
Oh, okay.
So everybody kind of clears out.
Zout.
Zout.
I also just want to point out it's 11:05, and I'm dying a little, like a lot.
Okay. Well, we can wait until next time before the actual springing of said trap happens.
Yeah, sometimes our fights take 3 hours, and I don't got that in me tonight. I'm just saying.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay, then well, this element it then. As you all go into the woods, everybody finds a spot to hide and hunkers down. It only takes a couple of minutes before the sounds get louder and louder, and then finally into the clearing where your camp had been. That is not appropriate music for what is happening. That is far too peaceful.
Sanishi is playing us a battle hymn in the most row your boatish way she knows how.
That nobody notices. You see come out of the trees into the clearing 4 large ogres. 2 of them are holding chains connected to 2 extremely large hounds each, and that's who they're following. The other 2 ogres, one of them has an oversized crossbow that looks like it was cobbled together out of found pieces of wood. Like it looks like it shouldn't work as it carries it. And then the last one holds a javelin in like a makeshift javelin in one hand and a club in the other. And as they come out into the clearing, the dogs lead them to... Is it people talking to me? Oh. The dogs pull them directly to the camp, and you just hear one of them in a very low voice. "We need to find that kitty. I want my kitty pie for dinner." And then they come. The dogs begin to rustle. Like they make it to the camp. The dogs begin to rustle through everything. And then the one holding the crossbow kind of nudges the one who was speaking. "They're not here. I want my food. If we don't come back with something, you know what they'll do to us." And that's kind of where we'll stop.